is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
Going on there. There we go. Now I'm starting it.
This is the Big O Show.
Is it back?
This
All
is
right.
the Big
Go.
O Show.
All right, I'm starting to hear it now. All right, good stuff there. All righty, it's a beautiful Monday morning. Hope boys and girls are out there feeling good. We and feeling safe. That's what we want, is for you to be really safe out there and be corona free. Every day that you wake up without the symptoms, right? You're like, okay, well, I'm kind of safe right now, that kind of stuff. So you saw it got extended for the month. And, it's interesting because I don't know if you guys saw Kirk Herbstreit's comments. And he came out firing and talking about what he expects and how he expects the coronavirus to affect us.
Till we have a vaccine where we can really just, okay, now we've got some control over this. Even if this curve is flattened out, this virus is still out there. I'll be shocked, honestly. I haven't talked with anybody. I'll be shocked if we have NFL football this fall, if we have college football. Be so surprised if that happens. Just because from everything I understand, people that I listen to, you're 12 to 18 months away from a vaccine. Until you have a vaccine, I don't know how you can let these guys go into locker rooms and let stadiums be filled up and how you can play ball. I just don't know how you can do it with the optics of it. If I'm a commissioner or I'm in charge, if I'm the NCAA, I just don't know how you can do that. The next thing you know, you got a locker room full of guys that are sick, and that's on your watch. I wouldn't want to have that. As much as I hate to say it, I think we're scratching the surface of where this thing's going to go.
And listen, he might be right. And I've talked about this before because it's crazy to think that you're going to even play the games without the fans. Because if you're playing without the fans, that means there's still some of the virus out there. And if there's still some of the virus, like I told you guys, are we going to put everybody in a plastic bubble? Every player, every trainer, every coach, every broadcaster, so they can travel from city to city, or even if they're in a neutral site, which they're talking about, you're still going to have to protect everybody from everybody else. They won't be able to associate with their family or friends, because if you're playing the games without the fans, then you're telling me that the threat is still out there. So there's no way of doing it. It just doesn't make any sense. I hope Kirk Herbstreit is wrong. I hope by late July and August, we're talking about, getting back to normal again, getting life back in order, not just sports. Let's get everybody working again. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's one of those things that this for now, we're kind of playing house. But in a couple of weeks, the stir craziness is going to come out of a lot of people. Okay? I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that things will get crazier as the weeks go on and people are locked up in their homes and their apartments and condos and all that, and they have nowhere to go, and they're kind of tired of being at home. It's going to happen. I know it. You know what I mean? Unless you are a homebody like me and my wife that outside of going to concerts or work, that's it. It's the only time I really leave the house. I don't really leave the house for anything else. I usually am staying home. I don't mind staying home. None of this has affected me whatsoever. It doesn't affect my wife. It doesn't affect my daughter because we're kind of homebodies as it is. So we're kind of cool being home and watching television and hanging out but there's a lot of people, and they're talking about the divorce rate possibly going up because a lot of people aren't used to, I guess being together for long periods of time, that kind of stuff. So I don't know how long. None of us know. None of us know. It's even the experts are trying to figure it out because they're trying to figure things out based on what they're seeing in other countries because obviously they're ahead of us in the damage, in the recovery, in all of that. So we're kind of using them as a measuring stick, and then we're using our own testing, and we're trying to get to that point. And obviously they're testing a lot of people now at this point. So now they're going to start getting the data that they need. And these experts will figure it out, and they'll have a better timeline for us. So Herb Street could be right. Maybe we can't do anything until we have a vaccine because we can't put it away without the vaccine. Lord, I hope that doesn't happen because you're talking about a year, and there is no way people can be out of work that long. There's no way. It's impossible. It would just completely cripple all of us. We're already getting crippled as it is by this. Every one of us is hurting from this. So it's one of those where it's just an experience type of thing. We're going to have to live it, and we will survive it, and we will get through this, okay? There's been worse things that have happened to society in years past, and they were able to get through it. We're going to get through this, but obviously we've got to live through the hell, before we get back to heaven of being normal again. You know what I mean? But you heard the numbers yesterday. They're expecting about 100,000 people to die when it's all said and done. And it could be more, maybe slightly less, but they're talking 100 to even 200. And if they did nothing, what was it, over 2 million would have died yesterday? That's what they were talking about, that if you don't go inside and stay away from people, we would have lost 2 million Americans. That's unacceptable. The fact we're going to lose 100,000 is ridiculous. The fact we're losing one to this virus is criminal. But we cannot allow it to fester because then we know it's going to create an even bigger problem for all of us down the line. So I don't know where this is going to end. I'm not going to go to the extreme of Herb Street. I think we can really put a crusher to this as long as we're all responsible and we pretty much stay away from people and use the 6 feet. And if you're able to stay away from people and just stay by your family who's not ill and you're all healthy overall, you should stay healthy, pretty much. That's it. It shouldn't be that difficult. Now, it's up to us. We got to be responsible. You got to wash your hands constantly. Do all the right things so we can eliminate this because life isn't fun without sports for us. We're sports nuts. That's what we are. Sure, we got to live life and we all got to work and we got our families that we love and all that, but we have a hobby that we love passionately, right? And it's sports. I mean, it's just one of those things. Music for me is the other, and I'm missing my live concerts now. That is something that, is kind of bothering me a little bit. But I got YouTube, and I could get by, and I saw a whole bunch of things yesterday and the last couple of days, and it was fun. I could sit back and watch different concerts and different performances and all that. I've had a blast with that. So that's been cool for me, but we want to get back to sports. And Herb Street thinks that we're not going to play college or pro football. this year. That would be tragic. That would be incredibly tragic. Yep. And let's turn the page a little bit here and how this whole thing, can you imagine if we had a year where you didn't play, maybe the baseball season doesn't go on, and this stretches out into August or September, you can't play the baseball season because then you got the winter months coming in, right? There's no way you can do it unless you go to neutral sites and you play inside domes and things like that. And it looks like Miami will have a lot of games, obviously. Tampa will have a lot of games. You know, that kind of stuff. Will the New Orleans Saints get some games? Since they've got the dome, will they create a baseball field in there? Now, but think about how screwed up, okay? If you have no college season in football or the NFL or Major League Baseball or the NBA, just think about this. The Dodgers traded for Mookie Betts. Mookie did not sign a long-term contract. So the Dodgers end up acquiring Mookie Betts for nothing whatsoever. They give up everything they gave up, and they lose the player if he goes to another team. And he never played. He never swung the bat one time for the Dodgers. How screwed up is that? Now, I mean, the Dodgers have more money than God. So it's, you know, whether you're the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cubs, you should be able to keep your players with no problem. You got the money. You can pay them. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm crying anything for the Dodgers or feeling sorry for them. They can write checks like it's going out of style. But just think about that. How screwed up is that? You end up getting traded somewhere, and they gave up a boatload to acquire you, and you never are able to play? That would be, I mean, that's brutal right there. Can you imagine if we didn't have a football season? We don't get to see any of the free agents the Dolphins picked up? You lose a year on those guys? You probably don't get to, you don't pay them, but still, think about that. Think about all those kind of things. The Marlins, I know they're not supposed to be competing for a playoff spot, but you do lose a year of experience for those young guys, which would be crushing. I mean, this coronavirus could really turn things upside down in the world of sports. It's already turned our lives upside down. And it's already kind of screwed up with sports. I mean, think about college basketball. They didn't get to finish their season. They don't get to play the tournament out. They don't get to crown a champion. I mean, that's sad. And how about the seniors that, you know, the guys that are wrapping up or the ladies that are wrapping up their college careers, they don't get to finish them like they normally would. I mean, think about that. It's just it's thrown everything out of whack. And it could get even worse for all of us. You know, sports-wise. You're a Dodger fan. Oh, my Lord. Can you imagine if they lose Mookie Betts after that? Again, not feeling sorry for them, but just thinking about the overall picture. You know, it's important that these young Marlins players get these 162 games as experience. Because then it's like a year lost, and then it rolls over in the next year, and they picked up nothing. They did not better themselves whatsoever because they didn't face Major League pitching for a year, which would have made them a lot better. And that's how much this coronavirus thing can screw everything up. If they get back in August or September and then they want to finish out the hockey season, Panthers, you know, I mean, it's their own fault. They didn't win enough. They didn't put themselves in position, but, you know, the season ends right there. They don't play any more games. They start the playoffs. Panthers are out. I mean, it affects a lot of things. In the world of sports, That is just absolutely torturous. About the only guy that could benefit from it is Tua, I guess, because he'll get drafted and he'll sit the whole year and be able to just completely heal and then be ready to take shots. But that's the screwed up part. How about this? Let's talk about this. How life and corona is affected. Okay? I don't think a lot of like we're all affected one way or another, right? We're losing our jobs, we're losing business, we're losing our businesses, we're more importantly, we're losing Americans, all of that, right? We know all the serious stuff that goes on. Now, this is also serious to a certain extent, but I want you to think about this, okay? Just think about this. I talked about this about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, that, last year my wife and I celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary right around this time, March 18th. We were in Paris. And can you imagine if this year was our 25th wedding anniversary and we had the flight and everything and all that set up for Paris? I would be so pissed that I couldn't go to something that it took me 9 months to set up. Okay? Last year, it took me 9 months before I went on that trip to do everything I did, set everything up, and I knocked it out of the park. Okay, I gotta that I will give myself props forever that I knocked that crap out of the park. But think about this, okay? Think about your senior year in high school. It's now been wiped out. You didn't get to finish your senior year. Look at all those kids across the country. They don't get to go to grad night. They don't get to finish out their senior years and have a blast with their friends. They may not even have prom. I mean, think about those moments are moments and times that last forever. You will remember it at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60. You're going to remember your prom. Those kids aren't going to have their prom. The 2020 kids aren't having their prom. The 2020 kids don't get to go to grad night. The 2020 kids don't get to finish out and experience their whole senior season, senior year. And you know how important that senior year is in high school. That's the epitome right there. That's where you're working your ass off and fighting through school just to get to that final year like, yeah, it's my last year. I'm moving on. You're on top of the world in school because you're a senior. You just got the world by the balls. It's a fun time. And this whole thing has ruined it for all those young people. I was just thinking about that. How about pregnant women right now? They just can't go to the doctor normally. They can't go associate with people. Pregnant women right now have to deliver their babies without their husbands in the delivery room. Yeah, well, you all know, I don't have to tell you. The people that are passing away from this coronavirus, they are dying alone. They are taking their last breath alone. They don't have a family member holding their hands through the worst moment of their lives, that they know they're dying, and they're dying alone. I mean, this is what this coronavirus is doing to so many people. Weddings that are planned now. You're now altering your wedding, canceling it, postponing it, setting it back. And look, for us guys, the wedding is important. Sure it is. But you all know, anybody that's been married, the wedding is more important for the woman than anybody else. You know how devastated women are all around the world right now because they've got to cancel or postpone their weddings? and they don't even know when they can have it again.
We had a very close friend of the family over in Cape Coral, her 100th birthday, March 21st. We were all supposed to be over there.
You can't be around that woman.
100-year-old birthday. How often do you turn 100 years old?
I think it happens once, if you're lucky. I think it happens once.
That's it.
I mean, think about that. I just let that, marinate, how much this is altering so many people's lives, financially and all that we know. But I was just thinking about that because you got to live grad night and you got to go to your senior prom and you got to enjoy your senior year. I feel bad for those kids. I really do. Because those are priceless moments in your life. And they've been wiped out for them. That's just terrible, man. Absolutely terrible. By the way, you can reach out to us on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. And don't forget to give us the thumbs up, the likes there while you're watching. And more importantly, grab that little share button and share it on Twitter. Send the link, this YouTube link. Send it to people on Twitter, on Facebook. Send it to them on a text. Share, please, share. That's why our subscribers are exploding. It's going up every single day, and we love you for it. We appreciate all of you out there for helping us spread the word of the show. We're here every single day. And by the way, I did live up to my promise. I did post a draft podcast on Sunday, so it's there. So just in case, for those of you that are going to ask me about it, let me do a little roll call here before we go to the bottom of the hour. Let's see what we got. NorCal is in. He's waking and baking, he says. Flipside Fishing, good morning. Frito A, good morning, Big O. George Albanese, what a way to start the show. Bromar Smelly, good morning, everybody. Let's see, Ian from Brooklyn is in the building. Alex Diaz says, Big O, did you see the video of all those people that shut down I-95? I did not. I did not see that. I have to look at it. Saturday night, they shut down I-95? I must have missed that. John Rouse says that there's a vaccine. We may not even get a vaccine. Well, we need one, Johnny. We need a vaccine. We need a cure. We need something, man. Let's look on the bright side of this. A lot cleaner water and earth is healing itself. Yeah, you noticed that too, right, John? You saw that? They are taking, satellite pictures of Earth right now, and especially the United States, and the pollution is clearing up because there's very few people out on the street. So it's actually cleaning. It's actually cleaning the atmosphere right now, and it's a lot cleaner view from Earth to see the United States because of all of that. John is right. 2019 Miami Miracle. How would next year's draft go if no NFL season? That's, you know what? Maybe they'll have a lottery or something. That's a great question, Miami Miracle. I mean, they got to have some kind of NFL season because they're too greedy. They love their money too much in the NFL, man. Mike Dominguez says, do you agree with the whole 7-inning game doubleheader thing in baseball? No, I don't. But then again, did you agree with the All-Star game counting and meaning something for home field advantage? It's baseball. They do stupid things. Rob Manfred, I mean, give me a break. He's proven to me he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, so I wouldn't be surprised. Just play less games, but they're greedy bastards, so they want to get in the 7-inning games so they can get as many games and charge the same to people. I mean, it's not like I'm stupid here and I was born yesterday. I know what they're doing. Let's see. Bromar says, no football this year. Where's the Panorama Tower? Luis Vasquez Jr. says, top of the morning. Miami Kid says, what's the deal? Jess Minneapolis is in the house. The Raging Dolphin Maniac says, good morning. Dougie Fresh, I was smoking and watching Hee Haw last night. A Mexican watching Hee Haw. We are here. Let's see. Hey, who didn't like watching Hee Haw? I loved watching Hee Haw when I was a kid. The women that were on Hee Haw were awesome.
It was funny. And
it was funny.
The
And
girls were smoking.
they had some hot country babes, dude. Myron Sanchez, what's up, everyone? Oh, you have to watch season 3 of Ozark. What a crazy show. Anyway, be safe out there. I have not watched Ozark yet. My wife and I, 2 days ago, were like, should we watch it? And we went to Tiger King. And I've watched I got 2 episodes left of Tiger King. I got to talk about that. I will get into Tiger King. I'm not going to give it away or anything like that because I know that there are people who haven't seen it, and I know it's it's all over social media, and it's a trip. I'll get into it. Man of 1,005 holes says good morning. Let's see. Eric EJD says good morning. Dennis Akers, what's up, brother? Shout out from Melbourne, Florida. Love the show. Call of Duty 1 says, what is Hee Haw on? I don't know. I don't know where it's at. I don't know what channel has it. But I'm sure you could also find it on YouTube. So plenty there on the chat board, and I appreciate all of you for chiming in, as always, and keeping it locked here on the program. We got a lot of things believe it or not, I got a lot of things to talk about. I got a whole bunch of subjects to talk about. So I'm glad that, on a Monday, because Bill walks in and goes, so you got much to say? And I go, no, actually I do. Actually, I got a lot of things to talk about. I could easily fill 3 hours today on the show with no problem. Maybe even 4. I don't know. I don't know how long I'm going to go. But we got a lot of things here on the program, a bunch of subjects that I definitely want to get into. And, of course, remember, you got any questions, you can send them in on the YouTube chat board. You can send them in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. You can also reach out to us on Twitter, and that's at Big O Show, as always, because that's like a 24-hour talk show. We got Bill, of course, driving the program. He'll put it all together like he does every single day here on the show. Let's do this. Let's take a quick break. Before we do, let me tell you about VSS West Pines. Love talking about Jose and all the great people out there at VSS West Pines. And, folks, look, they've got Drive Up right now. You can't walk in anymore, but they've got Drive Up so you can order. Call them at 954-613-3367. Save it on that cell phone because, as this thing goes on, pressure is going to build up, anxiety is going to build up, stress is building up. You need to relieve that stress and that anxiety. CBD products are the best for that. 954-613-3367. Call them and call my friends at vsswestpines.com. You can order right there over the phone, pay on the phone, and then just drive up and they'll take it out to your car. That's it. Drive up service at VSS West Pines, 12397 Pembroke Road. CBD in all styles, flower, tinctures, edibles, CBD topicals, Salve for pain, transdermal patches. If you got pain, you got anxiety, you got stress, you want to relieve it. If you're looking for e-cigarettes, they've got them all. The e-juice, they've got it there for you. So if you're relaxing at home and you need any of that stuff to kind of keep you chilled, please call the great people at VSS West Pines. Again, 954-613-3367.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SCT, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million, whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Yes, it is. We are ready to rock. Hope you guys are doing well out there. We are back here on the program. Lots of things to talk about. You know, getting it. We did a little draft podcast yesterday, giving you a couple players I like in the different positions and things like that. Kind of a in general podcast. It was a small one. It was like 25 minutes, and kind of broke down a lot of the stuff for the draft wise. Give you some little nuggets here and there from it. You can check it out and you can download it. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, SoundCloud. All of it you can find Big O Radio Show. That's how you find our YouTube channel and audio also, if you want to download it and subscribe, and always appreciate the support that all of you have out there for all of us, as always. And one of the things that this coronavirus has kind of set a lot of things back, like what we were talking about. Could this be a positive for Tua? And some people might look at it as a negative. I think it's actually a positive. Let me explain how it could be a positive for some people and it could be a negative for other people, for other players. But in Tua's case, I think it's an extreme positive. Do you know why? You know Ryan Tannehill was a project. He was so mediocre as a quarterback, they moved him to a wide receiver. But yet you drafted him in the eighth pick overall in the first round because you were hoping he would turn the corner because he's got incredible athleticism. And that is true. He is a hell of an athlete. But it didn't happen, right? Blaine Gabbert, a guy that wasn't ready, but yet they took him. And they ended up paying the price. Blake Bortles did not have one trait that was elite coming out of college. I remember a friend of mine who was a UFC grad, and he loved him, right? And he should, because he played well for the school. Didn't they get to the Orange Bowl? Didn't UCF get to the Orange Bowl with Blake Bortles, I want to say? They got to a big-ass bowl game, I remember. So any UFC grad or fan or whatever, you got to love Blake Bortles. He did great stuff for your school. But when looking at him and then talking to people in the NFL, one of the things that I would tell people that would ask me about Blake Bortles that year, I would say, I think he's average at best at everything. I don't think he excels at anything. And sure enough, but you reach for him because you're desperate for quarterbacks. And that desperation, my friends, is what's going to be Tua's #1 asset. Desperation. No doubt in my mind, because everybody needs a quarterback. and less than half the league has a franchise quarterback. Maybe there's 12 franchise quarterbacks in this league, maybe, out of 32. So that means there's a lot of teams really looking for their franchise guy. And Tua is healing. Now, is he completely healthy? Of course not. Is he ready to take hits? Of course not. Is he durable? Not even close. They know all of these things. But yet, you're still going to reach for him. You're still going to take him. So whether it's somebody trading up to number 3 with Detroit to take him, or whether it's Miami taking him at 5, or Miami dropping out and dropping down a couple of spots and letting somebody else move up to 5 to take him because maybe they want to move down to 5 or 8 or 9 or 10 and they feel they'll still get their tackle or something at that point and they'll pick up extra. I don't know what the plan is. I'm just throwing out scenarios, okay? Don't go running with it thinking that I'm telling you that they're trading down and they're not going to pick up. I don't know. I'm just telling you that that's a possibility. Because if you want to tackle, you can still get your tackle a couple picks later. So if there's somebody up there that wants to move up to number 5 to take Tua, but you don't want Tua because he's injury prone, go for it. But my point is, in a normal scenario, a guy coming off a hip injury in another position can't work out for teams and has been injury prone, he would drop drastically in the draft. He would drop like a bad habit. But because you're a quarterback, the desperation sets in. I mean, think about us as Dolphins fans. What is the number one thing that we talk about? Drew Brees, because that makes us desperate. We didn't draft Drew Brees. We took Jamar Fletcher. We didn't sign Drew Brees because they went with Culpepper. So we've got Drew Brees in our minds, and it's burned in there. And we failed twice with Drew Brees. The second go-around had to do with injury, something we're dealing with now with Tua. The only difference is Drew Brees is not injury-prone. That was the one injury he had. I get it. I know he just had that thumb injury, but that's 20 years into the league. The guy has had, a little scope here or there in off seasons, but he's never really been injury prone. Tua, in his very short college career, is extremely injury prone. And serious injuries at that. But having said all that, because he's a quarterback, teams are going to reach. And he might have lost some leverage if his workouts weren't complete. I mean, it was like a mini drop back that he did in that video. It's not like he's really doing a nice deep 5-7 step drop where he has to really plant and throw. Nobody saw that. We don't know if he can do it. But because you assume he's going to get healthy, and here's the thing about Tua. You know the dude can pass the hell out of the ball. So this isn't a project like Blaine Gabbert or Ryan Tannehill or any of these kind of guys that you got to teach them how to play the game and they got to learn, or Josh Allen, who was taken 8th overall and doesn't have accuracy, things like that. These are guys you have to work on. Lamar Jackson, huge project. That's why he lasted all the way to the end of the first round. Now, this guy, you don't have to do that. What do you think that becomes? That becomes even more enticing. That becomes more intoxicating because you know he can play. That's the thing about Tua. Most of us, we like him as a passer. I know I do. I love him as a passer. I won't draft him at 5 only because I'm not a fan of him physically. I don't think he's going to. I am convinced he won't hold up in the NFL. I'm convinced he will break down consistently in the NFL. But if he doesn't, then yes, he'll become a good quarterback in this league. And that's where the desperation sets in. And that is where I think he can actually use this coronavirus to his advantage. Interesting. All right. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. You can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. So, we talked a little bit about how the coronavirus thing is going to help a guy like Tua, right? Now, the question is, do the Dolphins make the move for Tua? And I saw on ESPN on Get Up, Dan Orlovsky thinks that the Miami Dolphins will make the move for Tua and make that trade up.
I think the Dolphins will have to and definitely will move up to go get Tua Tagovailoa. Number one, this is the organization that, 12 or 13 years ago passed on the opportunity to bring in Drew Brees because of fear of injury. And ever since that decision, they've been trying to find their Drew Brees. Number two, last year they traded away Minkah Fitzpatrick for a first-round pick and Laramie Tunsil for a first-round pick. They did not trade away good players to just go acquire other good players. They traded away those good players to acquire draft picks to make sure they were equipped to go get the player that they wanted to go get this year. And then number three, imagine this world where they sit back this year and take their three first-round picks, and someone jumps them to go get Tua. And with those 3 picks, they go on to win, 7 or 8 games next year. Then next draft, they'll be going into year 3 of a rebuild without a quarterback and asking the same question they are this year. Who is going to be our franchise quarterback? For those 3 reasons, Greeny, I don't think there's any chance that the Dolphins are going to sit there at 5 and hope that Tua falls to them. They will go get Tua.
Now, look, it's sexy to think that they'll go get Tua. It really is. Now, will they? I mean, the owner talked about the injury. Remember when he was asked, well, I don't know, man. He's an injury-prone player. I don't do the picking, but that's something that stands out to me. Remember when they had the meeting with him, he walked away and told his agent, and then the agent obviously told the reporters that, they were kind of cold in that meeting. So now Miami is not in the driver's seat for him at 5 because he can get taken early. So why would Miami play hardball? Why would Miami talk him down? Why would Miami not be, receptive with him and give him a pre-corona type hug? I wonder why. Now, is it that they're also downplaying it and they don't want to show that they have heavy interest publicly in him? Everybody else is talking about it because it only makes sense. Dolphins need a quarterback, so let's just talk that Tua will go to Miami. But maybe Miami is telling you the truth. Maybe Miami will take Tua at 5, but they won't trade up for him. And I am of the belief that they will not trade up for him. That they're going to take the best available player at 5. It may be Tua in their eyes if he's there. But are they going to trade up to the Lions to get him? I don't think so. I think they want to have a team that is absolutely loaded. So whenever they add a quarterback in the process, and here's the thing I would disagree with Orlovsky. They would not go into year 3 without a quarterback in the rebuild because they have another draft before year 3. That's the Lawrence year. And again, they're going to have a lot of picks for next year. If they hit on a lot of picks this year and they don't draft Tua early, they could be using a lot of those picks next year to move up to go get Lawrence. But this year, with all these picks, I think they want to really load this team up with a lot of talent. I don't think they want to add a quarterback and then not be able to protect him. because that's what's going to happen. You're going to have to give up some of your first-round assets. So then you're going to lose out on an offensive lineman. And that to me doesn't make any sense. And look, it's what I've told you already. Look at the dynamics of the NFL in the last 20 years. You got teams getting to the Super Bowl, getting deep into the Super Bowl, into the playoffs, winning a Super Bowl with mediocre to average quarterbacks because their teams were so loaded. And maybe that's the combination that Miami wants to get to. Load up the team so whenever you do find that quarterback's job is going to be a lot easier because he's coming on to a team that is loaded. And I'm sure that was one of the reasons why Tom Brady said, you know what, I'm going to go to Tampa. They got receivers. They got a tight end. They got a quarterback's coach. They got tight ends, not just a tight end. They got tight ends. And they've got a QB coach that gets it. And they got a pretty good defense, which they do. They were top 10 in the back half of the year. I mean, you want, if you're a quarterback, you want your life to be a little easier. You know, it looks like Aaron Rodgers' life is not easy all the time in Green Bay. That he's got to do a lot in order to overcome porous defense, sometimes an inconsistent line. Over the years, he's had an inconsistent running game. I know lately now with Jones it's gotten better, but still, he's had those issues the last couple of years too. And then that becomes a problem. You're paying your guy, but you don't have enough around him. When the Ravens won the championship, Flacco played out of his mind. 11 touchdowns, no interceptions, but that was a really good team. And then they had to pay him, and they lost a whole bunch of guys. So then all of a sudden, you now required Flacco to carry you more. That's not his game. His game is he's a good facilitator. But you have to put him with a team that can block, team that can run, you know, those kind of things. He didn't have that his last couple of years in Baltimore. And then he didn't have it also with Denver. And that's why he looked the way he looked. He's not Aaron Rodgers. But even with Aaron Rodgers, it's hard for him to carry them and do everything. And Tom Brady had to do more last year because that offense wasn't that good. That's why he went to Tampa. He goes, I want to be able to win, but I don't want to kill myself trying to win because I've got, mediocre receivers. Now he's got two freaking studs. He's got two number ones now because Godwin's a number one. And we all know Mike Evans is a number one. He doesn't even have he never had a number one in New England. Edelman's not a number one. Never has been. Possession guy, number two at best, slot guy. That's what he is. Randy Moss was like the last number one legitimate receiver that he had. I mean, when you're making Deion Branch a Super Bowl MVP, that's you're the man in Tom Brady. So you could say that they'll trade for Tua. It's nice. The concept is nice that, they'll trade for Tua. But if you kind of look at it, the way the Dolphins are doing things, I don't think that they'll be moving up and giving away all these picks that they have acquired. They know with the fishnet approach of drafting as many as you can, that they can now hit on more is what they're going to do. You got 7 picks, you're not going to hit on 7. You'd be lucky if you hit on 3 to 4, you are phenomenal. Well, if you got 14, you hit on 7, you're phenomenal. That would be nice. And if you end up hitting on more, look out. That would be pretty impressive if you're able to do that. That one year the Giants hit almost on all their draft picks. They won the Super Bowl that year because every one of their draft picks was, contributing to that Super Bowl team. That happens, then, you're on a roll, baby. A couple of years ago, the Saints did that too when they got a hell of the Kamara draft. They had several players in that draft. It was sick.
Seattle.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Seattle
They had that one draft.
They had several drafts to build that team.
Yeah, but there was that one that their 4, 5, 6, and 7s were all pros.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
Yeah. Yep. So that's why I'm not convinced like Orlovsky is. I just think it's a sexy thing to say because the Dolphins desperately need a quarterback. Can I see them drafting him at 5? Yes. I'll go out on a limb and say they're not going to trade up. I will disagree with the annoying one, Dan Orlovsky, that they're going to trade up. 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. By the way, couple things. One really cool thing that people are doing now, we can't get together, right? We can't have parties. And you know how Bill was talking about that lady, celebrating her 100th year and they couldn't get together. And obviously a 100-year-old person definitely cannot be around people. They've got to definitely watch themselves. And so I saw this on the news, and I found it to be so cool. Parents had their daughter, she was celebrating her birthday, so they couldn't have a birthday party. So what they're doing now is drive-by birthdays. And it was so cool because the parents were outside on their yard with their daughter, and she had a little birthday hat on and glasses and all that. And the friends and family members would drive by and then lean out of the car with balloons and signs and say, happy birthday, we love you, all that good stuff. Friends were saying happy birthday. So, car by car kept going by to wish her a happy birthday. And listen, that's what I love about humanity. We can find ways around this. And like the dad was saying when he was telling, I think it was Channel 7 News that I was watching, hey, I wanted to make this still a special moment for her because it's her birthday. And it was nice that people would, take the time to come by. We can't get together, but at least they can come by and say hi and wish her a happy birthday. And she loved, and obviously the little girl was loving it, and she had a smile on her face. But I thought that was such a cool thing because obviously it'd be great for the kids. And she was a little girl, I don't know what she was, like 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that. And you want kids to just be playing in the bounce house and having fun and whatever games the kids play and celebrating their birthday and blowing out the cake and all that stuff. The things that we should give our kids normally that they should we just talked about this in the last segment, right? Where we've got young teenagers that they're losing an important part of their lives that will never be the same again. You know what I'm saying? And you want to do this at least for your kids. Give them some part of normalcy. And while it wasn't completely normal, obviously, because she couldn't physically hang out with her friends, I thought it was really, 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 really cool that people did that. And I love the way we're adjusting to this at this point in time. And hey, do whatever we can for our kids to make it a little better. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. So kudos to all of you that are going out of your way to do that and make your kids feel better about themselves. I love that. Dennis Aker says, what's up, brother? Shout out from Melbourne. Love the show. Big O, if you don't watch Queen of the South, you have to. It's one of the most underrated shows. All right, I'll do it. Morning, Big O. Did you hear about that cruise ship that wants to arrive in Fort Lauderdale that has 4 dead? Lots of people. Yes, they've got like 150 people that are ill with the coronavirus, or they've got flu-like symptoms. I think they all haven't been tested. 4 have passed away. They're on the other side of the Panama Canal. They have not gotten the permission from the Panama Canal to allow them to go through. I think they will. But Broward does not want to let that boat in. Okay? And there's a part of me that is like, I don't blame you, Broward. I don't blame you. How do we track these people? How do we get them off the ship? Unless you can quarantine their asses all and keep them somewhere away from the entire community, because I don't believe these people will police themselves and quarantine themselves for 14 days. I just don't believe that. You know what pisses me off more than anything else? What made your ass get on a boat the last 3 weeks? I mean, were you that cheap that you couldn't take the loss? Because there's no way I get on a boat the last 3 weeks. And I'll fight with the cruise company. If they don't want to refund me during this epidemic going on or pandemic, I would sue the hell out of them. They're going to give me my money back. Or they're going to credit me for a cruise, whatever, 6 months, a year from now that I want to take. 2 years from now. They will give me a damn cruise. And I will sue them. But you got to be a moron to have gotten on a cruise ship in the last 3 weeks. You put yourself, your family at risk. I'm sorry. I just, that part I cannot comprehend. Okay?
You got to remember, some people, like our president, we're downplaying this.
No, I get it.
Not taking it
and
serious.
They're still downplaying it. Liberty University. Did you see what happened in Liberty? What happened? Let me see.
What is it? They're actually having students and stuff.
That's right.
It's like
they brought classes back.
Yeah.
Morons. I'm telling you. Morons. So I just, to me, first of all, what the hell are you doing on a ship the last 3 weeks? I mean, that is catastrophically stupid. Use some freaking common sense. But again, it's what Bill said. People all over this world, and they're still downplaying it. Anyway, let's see. Torres, the YouTube interface sucks. I don't know what that means. I'm looking at it. Well, my face is bad. I don't know about interface. I would go with my face is bad. But I don't. Seems fine to me. I'm looking at it. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't know what that means. Does that mean that you can't see it or something? Because I can see it perfectly. Doesn't it look fine to you? Right? I don't know. Anyway, Myron says, weed is my stress relief, period, and beer. Okay, I mean, whatever works. That's fine. Robert Gonzalez says, good morning. Mark Bonaquisti says, Hee Haw is on RFD TV. I have it on Dish. Let's see. He also says, would you trade down if you get an additional first-round pick? Hells to the yeah. Depends on what I'm now, I really want Tristan Wirfs. So I don't mind getting him at 5. Let's
also
see.
Backload those picks to later years.
Yes, that's
to
probably
offset. We can't. We've
Right.
got enough for 20.
Yes.
We got enough for 21. Probably need to go to 22.
Yeah. Yeah. Drewbo says, morning, fam. Fins Nation, rise up. We ain't moving up for crap. Bunch of BS. Let's see. FinFan70 says, anybody drafting ahead of Miami that gets a trade offer will call Miami to see if the Dolphins will best it. Dolphins can sit and wait. They hold the picks. Jacques Bethune says, time to add firepower. FinFan70 says, almost all the QBs in the playoffs last year were not top 5 picks. Exactly. Big Rig says, hey, Big O, checking in from Florida today. Happy to see you're doing well. And to all your followers, happy to see you in here as well. Thank you, Big Rig. Appreciate you, man. I love Tua for Miami, but I love my first-round picks even more. I don't want Miami to trade away any first-rounders. I'm with you there. Tommy Tremonti says no. Let's see. Big O, I hope the Dolphins out there at 5. Whether they draft Love later in the round, Herbert, Tannehill, in my opinion. Alex Diaz says, Big O, I just wanted to thank you for keeping us sane from this quarantine because I think I would be going crazy working and taking care of the kids. The best talk show out there right now. Well, thank you, Alex. That's very nice of you to give us love here on the show. Very nice of all of you for keeping it locked here on the show and giving us love. All right, it is noon already. 1 hour down. Did I give you enough sports subjects in 1 hour, Bill? By the way, just out of curiosity.
Yeah, man. I mean,
were you a little concerned?
Considering that you know
How's
what
hour one so far?
You know what my concern is? Your lack of wanting to do hypothetical, and obviously we're gonna have to touch on the fringe of that.
Yeah,
you know,
I can.
We're gonna have to.
I did some of that fringe right now.
No, but how you totally despise doing that.
Oh, yeah,
It's
I
just,
totally despise
We
it.
kind of don't have many options right now.
But we're talking
I
about.
realized last night.
Remember, but it's like the free agent hypotheticals that I hate because we still don't know who's a free agent.
A week later, they're re-signed with their team.
Right. Now we knew who they were, and we could get into those subjects leading into free agency. But 2 months ago, hey, what do you think about this guy's a free agent? Well, how do you know he's a free agent? I don't know if he's re-signing or not. I don't know if he gets tagged or not.
He just got tagged.
Exactly, and that's why I hate those kind of hypotheticals. I hate that. I hate hey, why don't we trade our 18th and 26th picks for the 12th pick in the draft, and then they'll also give us a second rounder, but we'll give them back a 7th rounder. And it's like, whoa, you got too much time on your hands. It's just way too much time on your hands. Those are the hypotheticals that I hate playing that game. You know what I mean? The hypothetical of whether they'll trade up for 2 or not, that's okay. That's a discussion that we can have about whether that, but that's not hypothetical. That's more of a what if type of thing, you know? And that I can do. Also, give us the thumbs up. Yay. Right there while you're watching. And grab that share button and share it on Twitter, on Facebook. Send it on a text to your friend. Tell them they got a real talk show going on, giving you all the stuff that you want right here on the Big O Show.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
All right, it's hour number 2 on the program. Yes, hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are safe out there. Really cool. The Olympics in Tokyo The dates have been revised, and it'll be July 23rd through August 8th of 2021 when they'll play the Olympics next year. So that'll be cool. What else do we have going on the program? Kudos to the Florida Panthers because, there's sometimes some of you out there, we get into a little bit of a discussion with the Panthers. And some of you wonder at times, why am I so supportive of the Panthers? Because they fall short all the time. And I'm a huge believer in Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu. I love those guys as owners of the Panthers. I think they're fantastic. I think they're trying to do everything and anything possible to win. They inherited, the general manager in Dale Talon, and look, I'm objective enough to say, and I'll tell Doug Sifu and Vinny Viola straight up, it's time to make a change. And they probably will make a change. I just got that feeling that they will. You have to, after 10 years and no results with the guy, you have to do something. And they're going to do something because they're into winning. And I believe Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu are winners. What they did over the last couple of days makes me even bigger fans of Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu, considering what's going on in the landscape of just the world right now. Don't know if you guys saw this, but Vinny Viola and Doug Sifu are committed to paying their employees through the coronavirus pandemic. Are you listening to me? They are going to pay their employees all the way through this coronavirus pandemic. That's pretty cool. Okay? And let me, first of all, here you go from Viola. It says, amid the crisis, the Florida Panthers have issued, damn it, this thing is just, I hate when this thing just takes forever to freaking load. What a pain in the ass this thing is. No, I can't. I got to bring it up on another damn iPad. I hate this. I hate when it happens. Anyway, so basically he was saying, we got you. We got your back as the owner of the Panthers, that they're going to take care of their employees. And why I think it's important and why I say it and why I want to give the Panthers a lot of love with all of this. I'm not sure if you guys know what's going on in Boston. The Bruins, they've won Stanley Cups, right? They're a pretty successful team. Last time I checked, I think they're one of the original 6 also in the NHL, which means they were one of the first franchises in NHL history, one of the original 6 that started the league. Well, they've got an owner in Jeremy Jacobs who is a billionaire. Okay? He's a billionaire over and over. Okay? We're talking about a guy that's got a lot of money. He has laid off 68 full-time employees, and 82 others are taking salary reductions. This guy is a billionaire. I get it. Nope, these guys become billionaires because they don't lose money. But they're not going to lose money if they have to pay their employees. Whatever money they lose now, they'll make it in the back end. I mean, to be a billionaire and to lay off your employees, man, I would do everything in my power to find another job somewhere else, and I would not want to go back to work for that scumbag. Vinny Viola, sir, Doug Sifu, much love, much respect. I'm an even bigger fan of you guys today than I've ever been because you are doing what a mensch does. You are doing what stand-up people do. You, sir, you and Doug are pillars of our community. because you are taking care of some of our folks here in South Florida. That's freaking awesome on Vinny Viola's part and Doug Sifu. I can't say enough about those guys, and I wanted to say it because there's an example out there to show you that they're doing the right thing. They are good people. They have good hearts. That's the kind of organization you want to work for. Those are the kind of owners you want to work for. Okay? That's just freaking awesome to do something like that. I can't say enough of that. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to me on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. And I was looking into the Dolphins' moves in free agency. And, one of the reasons why I gave them an A- in free agency and why I think they made the right moves. And I think they got themselves what I think is reasonable players, and eventually I think it'll be a productive group for them considering the kind of money they're spending. And this is what I mean by it, okay? Because you just saw where Clowney turned down $17 million a year, right? He wants like 20 plus a year, right? Because he views himself like that kind of player. And look, those elite defensive ends, you're going to be paying 20 plus in today's world, right? You're going to be paying 22, 23, 24 million, something like that for those kind of like nasty ass players that can get you 14, 15, 18 sacks. Correct? So I wanted to kind of break it down for folks because we give you the grade, we tell you we like the players, but then let's break it down in other ways. Okay? Let's just say, all right, on Kyle Van Noy, who's not an exceptional pass rusher, Ogba, who's not an exceptional pass rusher, still a little raw, maybe can get there eventually, and then Shaq Lawson, another guy that's not considered an exceptional pass rusher, which is those guys that you would be paying 20 plus million a year, correct? And they'll get you 15, 18 sacks. Well, just let's go with the salary for 2020. Okay, the first year is very manageable for Van Noy. It's $6 million. Ogba is 7.5, and Shaq Lawson's 10.3. You're paying $23.8 million for 3 defensive ends. If they each get 7 sacks each, that's 21 sacks. Just 7. It doesn't have to be crazy. I think 7 is actually manageable for all those guys. All 3 guys can end up somewhere in that 6 to 8 range. And instead of counting on one guy that could break down and one guy doesn't make a rotation, I love the way the Dolphins structured this because you get 3 guys that you can use in rotation. I'm sure they're going to draft somebody else, plus what they have already, so they'll have several guys that can get after the quarterback. Year 2, it jumps to $32 million because Van Noy's salary goes to $15.2 in the second year. Shaq's drops $1 million from 10.3 to 9.3. Ogba is only a 2-year deal, and it stays at 7.5. So at 32, okay, you're basically paying $10.6 million per guy on average. Let's just say, throw it out there. Again, for rotational defensive ends, not a crippling price. And if you can go out there and get, again, 21 sacks, you'll be fine. Because they'll do other things. They'll be good against the run. They can help you in coverage. They'll get their tackles. They'll get some tackles for losses, all those kind of things. But I just wanted to kind of explain it to people because You may not look at it that way, but that's kind of the way you should look at it. That instead of spending your money all on one guy and overspend on just one guy, you end up getting three that give you depth, that give you versatility, okay, which is another thing, because some guys may be just exceptional against the pass, not good against the run, or vice versa. Here you got guys that can help you out in different areas. You can use them in different ways, and the salaries aren't really crippling. And like I told you, after year 2, the Van Noy one is when you can get out of. Ogba, you're done in after 2. That's why you have opportunities to draft a couple of guys over the next couple of years, develop those guys, and then they eventually will take over for these guys. But like I told you also, they were also really smart because this isn't a pass rush heavy draft. It's a pass receiver heavy draft. Okay? It's several tackles that you can get offensive tackles in this draft, but you're not really going to find a lot of tight ends in this draft, and you're not really going to find a lot of pass rushers in this draft. It's just not considered to be a strength. It's kind of a weakness of this draft. There's other areas that are strengths. Those aren't two of them. And that's why I thought it was also very smart for them to take care and not go crazy in free agency, not go cap crippling in free agency, which is what they did. They brought in manageable deals overall. And in their oldest player, which is Van Noy, who's 28 now, they got a deal that is very flexible, that they can get out of that 4-year deal after 2, which, again, really, really smart. But I just kind of wanted to break down the Dolphin defensive ends because that might help you look at it a little better. And those of you that maybe even looked at it in a negative light, maybe now I'm helping you understand a little bit more of what they were trying to accomplish by getting these guys in the salaries that they got them at. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in, Mark says that ship should go to the Navy base at Jacksonville where it can be handled by the feds. That's probably what's going to happen. They'll probably send it to a base somewhere where they can control everybody too. Oh, you're almost at 2,000 subscribers. Come on, everybody. Turn on that hee-haw and Golden Girls and get O and Bill to 2K. Yes, we are, man. That's right. It's amazing, right? We were at nothing a couple months ago, and then we were trying to climb. And
we were trying to get 1,000 for when we went to the East-West in the Senior Bowl so we could do remotes with our mobile.
Live. Yeah, live.
You know?
And we've been able to do a couple of lives because of that, and we appreciate that.
Talking about the end of January, right?
And wait till we have now, once we get sports back, that we can get back on the road now, and we're going to be going to games and locker rooms and things like that. So you're going to get a lot more coverage. But, we've had a little bit of a setback here. Big O, I hope the Dolphins stay away from Herbert. If Tua's not there at 5, I'd rather they draft Love later in the round. Herbert, Tannehill is, in my opinion. Big O, I just wanted to thank you for keeping us sane from this quarantine because I think we would be going crazy working and taking care of the kids. Thank you, sir. Big O, I actually like Jordan Love at 18, no injury history, and he can learn behind Fitz a year and can wait for the draft. Ray, I'm with you. I got no problem taking Jordan Love at number 18. I won't take him at 5, but I'll take him at 18 because he's a project. Yeah, I'm not taking projects in the top 10. I'm consistent with that.
The only problem, like you've pointed out, with this craziness in the NFL for QBs, you think he's going to be there at 18?
Somebody will take him
right?
or trade up to get him.
Right.
Yeah. GPP Central says, you guys thought I'd miss the whole show, huh? How's everybody Monday going? Working? Busy? Hardly working? We're grinding, GPP. We're grinding. Myron says, applause to the Panthers. Hell yeah, man. Panthers class act, man. Antonio Mendoza says, why would we get a QB to sit behind Fitz since when he is a QB to learn from? FinFan70 says, everybody remember to click the like button. Yes, click the like button a lot. Click it. Share it. Do all of that. We appreciate you. Very, very kind for all of you out there. Very nice. Let's see, what else do we have here on the show to talk about here on the I did see. I'm not sure if you guys. We talked a little bit about it, but the fact that Liberty University has brought its students back. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Liberty University spokesman Scott Lamb states one online student who does not live on campus and who never left Lynchburg has tested positive for the coronavirus. The previous report made by Lamb to WDBJ7 in error stated that one on-campus student who never left Lynchburg tested positive from contact within the community. Liberty University released a full statement today, Sunday, combating a New York Times article claim about students showing signs of coronavirus after the president, Jerry Falwell Jr., irresponsibly welcomed students back to the campus. The New York Times points out the Lynchburg's mayor, Trenton Tweedy, calling Falwell reckless after Governor Ralph Northam made a specific reference to Liberty and its president during a briefing last week. Farwell responded that our message did not change throughout the week as governor's orders changed, going on to say we had to adapt. And according to the university's response, 4 students were told to self-isolate even though they had no symptoms being shown as a precaution as they returned to campus from New York. The university says no on-campus student has tested positive from any on-campus contact, at least for now. I know. It's only a matter of time before it happens.
Just give it a chance.
You know, there are many layers to all of this. First of all, you're the dean, and you're bringing back your students and putting them at risk. You're putting your teachers at risk. You're putting the administrators at risk. And then here's the other thing that I'd like to add. Where are the parents? How are the parents allowing these kids to come back? Because it's like 2,000 kids that have gone back so far. I think their max is, I think it's 5,000 normally. So there are several thousands that have not reported back to school, and they can take online classes. By the way, those, I think they have the option. But the fact that you're bringing them back, and this is why when we do these kind of things, do you want to stay in your house longer? These are the kind of things that keep us in our house longer. That's what people don't understand. All these get-togethers and all that you see, all they end up doing is spreading the virus even more. And then that sets us back. Because then if we expose more people to the virus and we get more people sick and the numbers don't start declining, there's no way we get freed from all this crap. So, one, I don't know how Liberty University irresponsibly brings back kids, okay? And then on the flip side, where are the parents to these kids? And I get it that they're young adults at this point, but you got to put your foot down. If you're a parent, you got to beg your kid to stay and force them to take online classes and not put them at risk. I don't know. I don't get that. I really don't. I saw that story and it floored me. It really did. I just don't get it at all. Man, that to me was as baffling as it gets.
As usual, for every smart, good, story, there's one that's on the other side of the scale. And how in the hell can you do that? It makes no sense. It's
going to happen. They're gonna get cases, and the next couple of days. I'm not wishing it on them, but it's going to happen. Because there's got to be, if you got 2,000 people, it's only normal in where we're at right now that 2,000 people cannot walk around without the virus in the country.
Australia has a get-together thing down to 2 right now,
yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You see what everybody's saying, like 10 is no. It's not even 10 anymore. We've gone out to April 30th.
I don't hang out with 10 at all.
Yeah, But, I mean, we've gone out to April 30th now. Like, and people are actually – how can you even think about bringing a bunch of college kids together?
It's my wife, my daughter, and you. That's it. Those are the only people I hang out with. That's it. It's 3 people. I can't be around. I'm not going to be around anybody else.
Mine's family and you. That's it.
Yeah.
You know? And everybody is pretty much, we're locked. We're in. We're done.
Yeah, you can't.
We're not moving.
Yeah, you can't. You can't. I really don't understand that.
I got to be honest with you. Look, I've done drive-through a few times. We did it this morning. When do we have to get concerned about that,
I mean, if they're wearing gloves and all that, you shouldn't be that concerned. They're not cooking with their hands and flipping with their hands. If they're doing it all with gloves, you should be all right. I just got a new box of gloves over the weekend. So I'm loaded up to a point now that I am going out on the street with gloves every time.
On the way to work?
Anywhere now.
On the way to work?
Yeah, you'll see me.
I saw a guy with a full, he had a hazmat suit, semi-hazmat suit on.
I don't blame him.
You know?
And
the only thing that was missing from his
can't make fun of anybody anymore for that.
He was missing goggles. Okay.
But you can't make fun of anybody for protecting themselves nowadays.
Hell no.
Okay. All right.
Considering, look, if I got this where they're talking about where it's at, man, with my asthma, dude, I would probably not be here.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yeah. No. Let's not talk like that. But let's just.
I hope, of course not. But I mean, the reality of the situation, it could be really. Yeah, it would be horrible. It would be bad. I would be bad.
Yep. Mickey says, Big O, so what are your top players coming out in this year's draft by position, my man? Well, Mickey, go to our we posted a podcast on Sunday, a draft podcast. Go check it out, my brother. It's all there. Ty in the Bronx is chiming in. Appreciate you. Ty was reaching out to us on Saturday. We were on Sirius Mad Dog doing our thing on Saturday morning. Let me tell you about Murias Dental. Let me tell you, whether it comes to Invisaligns, implants, but more importantly right now, if you're dealing with tooth pain and you want to fix that cavity and you're worried about the coronavirus right now, listen, folks, Murias Dental, state-of-the-art equipment, clean as a whistle when we talk about Murias Dental. And, folks, they can help you get out of pain. Call them, 305-821-0231. You're cooped up right now in your home, your condo, but you're dealing with tooth pain and you're like, I'll just get by. No, don't do that. Call Murias Dental. They're ready to take care of you. Tell them that Big O sent you. And listen, whether it's clean your teeth, Invisaligns, implants, you want to get a crown, whatever it is, or you want to fix that cavity, let's get you out of pain, because you're hanging out in your house. You don't need to hang out in pain. 305-821-0231. Save it on that cell phone, 305-821-0231 for MuriasDental.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. We are rocking and rolling. Hope you guys are doing well out there. Hope you're staying safe. Stay away from people. That's all we want, man. We just want you all safe out there, okay? We want to be able to do this thing with you guys for a long, long time to come. I mean, think about this. We've only been 7 months at this thing, building it up. We're approaching 1 million downloads already. Getting excited about that. Should be later on this week. We should be hitting 1 million downloads. I wish I could. I don't know if there's a way I can find out which one of you is going to be the 1,000,000th download. Not sure. I don't know how to do that. That I don't know.
You need to call the people in Germany, SoundCloud.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't even know if they talk. That doesn't seem like there's any kind of
They talk Hockender.
Yeah, whatever they do, they don't talk to us. But yeah, it would be really, really nice. So it's things have been going so well for us. Obviously, setbacks now, because of everything that's gone on with the coronavirus. But we are blessed, and now the YouTube numbers with a lot of people at home, more and more people are finding out about the show. Because every day I get people like, "Oh, I didn't know you were doing this. I missed you from 560 and this and that and all that." And so it's a lot of fun how more and more people find out about it every single day, where they can actually get real sports talk with a real opinion, no politics. We don't have to worry about it. We're not on terrestrial radio having that pussy-ass style of radio where you can't say anything negative about the teams because you have a program director, getting all nervous about it and telling you, please don't say that, that kind of stuff. So, yeah. So it's nice. It's really, really nice. Now, this coronavirus, the one thing that I will tell you where the coronavirus, how I was telling you earlier how the coronavirus could be helping out Tua because of the desperation for QBs. On the flip side, the coronavirus is killing Cam. And for Cam Newton, see, here's the difference. With Tua, he's young, right? Plus, he's a passer. Naturally, he's a passer. So you're just banking that he'll stay healthy and you'll have your passer. Whereas Cam Newton is not a great passer. But Cam Newton's a winner. Cam Newton hustles. Cam Newton plays hard most of the time. He's one of those guys that, he sells out for you. Right now, his style of play is one that you have to sell out completely. You have to build your offense around him. And right now, Cam Newton is in an impossible position because he is coming off a serious foot injury, and that foot injury, that Liz Frank, is something that has lingered for a lot of players. It has changed the careers of certain players. Eric Rett was never the same again after he had his Liz Frank. Other guys have come back, but it hasn't been an easy road for them. And so now you don't know if Cam Newton's going to come back. And Cam Newton's already, I believe he's right around 30, 31 or something like that. So Cam Newton is up there in years. Now, the average quarterback that's a drop back passer, at 31, it may not be a big deal. But a 31 athletic running quarterback, that's a big deal. Because when Dante Culpepper lost his knee, he lost his ability to play quarterback. Because he was never really a real quarterback. He was an athletic guy with the ball in his hands. Wasn't an accurate passer and wasn't a great pocket passer. And once he lost his mobility, he lost the opportunity to play the game. So a lot of teams could be looking at Cam saying, well, without your mobility, you're not the same guy. You need to run the ball in order to be effective. And that's where the coronavirus outbreak is killing Cam Newton. He can't go visit teams. He can't have a sit-down conversation with them, talk about philosophy, talk about what he wants to do, talk about what they want to do. He can't go and take physicals where they can really look at that foot, check out the rest of his body because he's had several injuries too, shoulder injuries and everything. And he can't work out for the teams. Because if he could work out, then the teams could see how he moves around and see if that quickness is still there. All of those things. It's got to be frustrating. I mean, we talked about how Corona could change sports this year. Some sports may not come back. Some sports aren't coming back. Some sports could be ruined this season. We talked about how personally kids are going through hell right now. They don't have grad night. They don't have a prom. They don't get to finish out their senior years. Pregnant women, all this stuff. Look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton can't further his career, and he's 31. He's not 25. He's not 22 coming out of college. He's 31. He doesn't have time to throw away a year. That's kind of what he did last year. Now he's throwing away possibly another year because nobody's offering him a starting job. And if he signs anywhere, it's going to be as a backup. And he doesn't want to be a backup, and he doesn't want to get paid like a backup. And at 31, the prospects of a prove-it contract, they cannot be sexy. They cannot be enticing, and it certainly isn't motivating for him. I mean, this coronavirus thing, it's affecting all of us. But I'm just saying, you put yourself in Cam's shoes, he's having a harder time than most with this thing.
Yeah, he's got to keep up the fashion thing that he got into, and that's a pretty expensive world to be running in, okay?
Yeah.
Let's face it.
Yeah. He does have some cool get-ups. There are some wild ones. There are some wild get-ups.
More than most are out there.
Yeah, there's some that he belongs with Joe Exotic. And for those of you, I'm not going to give you too much on this, okay? Talking about Joe Exotic and the Tiger King. Okay, I'm not gonna give anything away for those of you out there that have not watched Tiger King yet on Netflix. But if you're gonna watch it, first of all, people that are telling you to watch it, and I'm gonna tell you to watch it, but I'm gonna tell you one thing before anything else. It's not a great show. Like, it's not Sopranos-like. Okay, it's a reality show, but it's basically about dysfunctional people. Like, really dysfunctional people. like all kinds of train wrecks
Yeah.
ramming into each other.
So it's a car wreck that turns into a bus crash, to a train wreck, to a plane crash.
And that seems to be the kind of television that people and whatever, that's what we want in life. It's what we want to watch in the news. It's what we want to watch in sports. It's what we want to watch in entertainment. It's what we want to watch. We love watching train wrecks. You know, it's just one of those. And
there's a rubbernecker in 95% of us, okay?
And that's basically what it is. It's just a huge bunch of train wrecks, and we love watching other people's misery. But it isn't like this incredible program. But and I will tell you this. We have a saying in Spanish when you're growing up as a kid and your parents see you with somebody that they think is undesirable and they think somebody might be a delinquent or a criminal or a drug dealer or whatever, and they see that you were hanging around them or something, and they have this saying that says, dime con quien tú anda y yo te digo quién tú eres. Tell me who you're hanging around with, and I'll tell you who you are. Okay? And that show is basically that saying. It's like you are who you hang around with, and all those people are what they are, and they hang around each other because they're kind of all cut from the same cloth. They're all different shapes, sizes, sexes, nationalities, sexual preferences, whatever, you name it. But they're all kind of the same disaster. Okay? That's it. I'm not going to give you what the show's about. I'm not going to talk about any plots. I'm not going to talk about, what I think about one thing or another. I don't want to give anything away. Okay? Because I know it's kind of new and people are on it, but I've got 2 episodes left. The wife and I have got 2 episodes left. We'll probably watch them tonight and finish it off. But, again, train wreck is really what it is. It's like Shameless, It's like you watch Shameless, and that's like all kinds of train wrecks, too. Although that one might be a little bit more entertaining in a way.
Finally saw The Mandalorian.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
You saw all 8 episodes already?
Dude, of course. I burned through it in freaking a day.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
You know what? It some were better than others, like you had said.
Right.
But the overall story, it was good.
Yeah. And it was made well, too.
It's got the Star Wars. They got the Star Wars quality in it, like you said.
They made it like it looked good.
The only thing for me, for me right now, the number ones, obviously, me being Darth Vader, Empire Strikes Back, and Rogue One. Those are like 1, 2 of all of them. But The Mandalorian, I'm looking forward to the next episode, the next season.
I hope so too. Yeah.
You know what? I hate it. I don't know how people did it week by week by week, that route, because I burned through it in like 4 or 5 hours, like 5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Bink, it was done.
I had to wait week after week.
See that? No, man, that's torturous, man.
Yeah, there was one week I didn't see it, so I was able to see the following week 2 in a row, which was really, really nice.
Yeah, you get like a bonus.
Yeah. Dougie Fresh, my brother, I don't have a Ramones shirt on. I have Damone's shirt on. Not Ramones, Damone. Okay? This is Fast Times at Richmond High. You remember Damone, the guy that sold tickets for concerts?
Oh, hey, Debbie. What a great place.
See? There you go, Damone. There you go. What we can't do now, go to concerts. So that's what it is. It's a shirt from Fast Times at Richmond High. That's what it is. And no, I'm not old enough to go to CBGB's. Although CBGB's was, I think, still open in the 80s. I just didn't go. That's all. But no, I never went to CBGB's. Now, I've seen plenty of documentaries about CBGB's. That I have, but I never went to CBGB's. That's funny.
Actually, Damone explaining to Rat how to deal with a girl in
That's
this.
right.
It's Deborah
Debbie.
Harry, and Debbie was
Isn't this great?
was a regular institution at CBGB's.
That's right. She was.
Back in the day.
She was. You're right. Ray says, can't
Kiss
wait.
me. You won't regret it.
Can't wait for Mandalorian Season 2 is October 1st. They finished it in February. So they're doing it for my birthday, October 1st. That's my birthday, October 1st. That's pretty cool. If October 1st is Season 2, I like it. I like it. Steve D'Onofrio Jr. says, fins up. T-Bone says, Big O, you keep saying Bengals will never trade the first overall pick to Miami, and we are dreaming that would never happen. I'm telling you, bro, it's the Bungles, man. Greer might be able to fleece him, man. Never know. T-Bone, you go ahead and keep on with that mental masturbation. That is not happening. Ian from Brooklyn says, T-shirt game tight, though. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I love this shirt. I saw it, and I had to buy this shirt. One, I'm a concert guy, right? So and who doesn't love Fast Times at Ridgemont High? I mean, that's one of the movies I've seen the most. I don't know how many times I've run into it that you just got to stop and watch it. And you hope, of course, that you haven't passed the Phoebe Cates scene, of course. T-Bone says, Guns N' Roses, greatest band of all time. There you go. Bromar says, Bengals would trade the first pick for 4 first-round picks. Okay. Yeah. I don't think the Bengals are trading at all. Nobody has 4 first-round picks, and I would not trade for Joe Burrow for 4 first-round picks. Okay? Sorry, I'm not trading for a one-year wonder and giving up all those picks. I'm fine where they're at. I'm not into the panic mode. You guys know that already. I've already told you many, many times I have no problem building up the team, period. That, to me, would be the best way to do all of this, is to build up the team. That's what I would like to do. Okay? Do you like beer pong? Have you ever played beer pong?
Oh, of course, man. Come on.
All right. Well, for those of you that like beer pong, Post Malone, Machine Gun Kelly, Gronk, and Travis Kelce are going to play an online beer pong game for charity for COVID-19. How about that? Beer pong challenge. I love it. Now, let me give you a little insight on what's going on with our beer pong challenge. In times like these, we probably advise against playing beer pong in a traditional party gathering form, but Post Malone and Machine Gun Kelly, for those of you that don't know Machine Gun Kelly, he played Tommy Lee in Dirt. If you don't follow his musical career. Anyway, among the celebs and sports figures lining up for the game, however, it will be played with the proper social distancing, of course. Post Malone has recruited a number of name figures to participate in a tournament-style competition, all taking place via video chats that will reportedly be played out via Instagram Live. Details of when the event will take place will be revealed today, but supposedly many of the participants were recruited by rapper Mike's Ya Never Know, You Know What I Mean podcast. Post Malone will make up one of the 16 teams in the competition that will take place over 8 nights, with 2 competitions taking place each night. Post Malone and Mike are on one side of the Ballina Cup bracket, while Machine Gun Kelly's on the other side, which means they wouldn't meet until the finals if both get that far. Other names of note said to be taking part include retired football star Rob Gronkowski, SI swimsuit model Camille Kostick, current NFL players Travis Kelce and Danny Amendola, baseball stars Trevor Bauer, Mike Clevenger, and Marcus Stroman, and fellow musicians Kane Brown and Morgan Wallen. Can I just tell you this? I am picking either a musician or a baseball player. I'm just saying. Baseball players can drink beer, bro. They are beer-chuggling fools. And we know musicians can drink beer. I am not picking a rapper. Rappers aren't drinking beers. Rappers drink, like, really good liquor. So they're not going to...
They're rolling blunts, man. Who's kidding?
Yeah, right. But when they drink hard liquor. They're not drinking beer. I just don't see rappers as beer drinkers. That's a baseball thing. And I've been in enough baseball locker rooms to tell you, clubhouses, not locker rooms, clubhouses, they like their beer. And they like a lot of beer. They drink a lot of beer. So I'm going to take a baseball player or a musician, a rock musician, not a rapper, rock musician. So I'm going to go right now. I'm going to lean to Trevor Bauer. That guy just rubs me like I'm going to outdrink your ass. He'll definitely outdrink Post Malone for sure. Guaranteed he's going to outdrink Post Malone. There's no doubt about that. Now, beer pong is not really about out drinking, right? It's kind of like you got to make the thing in order.
Well, it's about, you making the shot, man.
Right. So,
and there's all different kind of house rules. You could play, like, if it bounces, you could swat it away from the
that
cup.
won't happen.
There's,
and they're online. No, everybody's online. That's not going to happen.
Oh, well,
there's no social gathering here.
Okay, well.
So that part is out.
So
it's just
modified.
Making it and drinking.
Does everybody have a regulation beer pong table?
I don't know.
See, that's another thing.
I almost bought us a beer pong table. That was going to be our table for broadcast, but it just wasn't. It wasn't built for the beautiful cover we have for our tables. We have this big, beautiful tablecloth that we use for our 8-foot tables. But the beer pong tables are skinny and they're 6 foot. So it didn't fly, unfortunately. But those beer pong tables are really cool, actually. I gotta give them credit. And they fold up really nice, so you're able to carry. It would have been a lot easier for Bill to carry those than the regular one he does. Big O, what do you think of the future holds for Josh Rosen here with us? You think the Dolphins really do like him, or do they think they're just selling him up to other teams? Mickey, you need to go back and listen to the podcast on Thursday or Friday. I think it was Fridays. I addressed that. So there you go. And I think you also asked something about trading up for Burrow. I also answered that last week. Apparently, you were not listening a lot last week. You weren't on the show a lot. But remember, we are not a typical radio show that has to repeat the same subject over and over again several times an hour. We don't repeat anything. So once we have talked about it, we have moved on. We allow you to go back on demand to go listen to it. So, Mickey, we have all of those there for you. Just a couple days ago, go back and you'll be able to catch the segment, me talking about Rosen, and then the other one about Joe Burrow. It's all there, baby. Dougie Fresh says, I want a Damone's beer bong table. I like it. And Steve D'Onofrio Jr. says, no trading up, build team. I'm with you, Steve. Build the damn team. Forget the rest. That's definitely the way to go. So we've got that. We've got the beer pong challenge. What else do we have here on the show? Oh, remember, we warned you. We gave you the heads up. Today, it's Monday. So it is what? Metallica Mondays. Hashtag Metallica Mondays. 8 o'clock tonight on Metallica's YouTube Facebook page. They will have Worldwide Tour on Europe in Paris, September 8th, 2017. They will have that concert when they were in Paris on September 8th of 2017 for the Worldwide Tour. So go to Metallica's YouTube and Facebook pages tonight at 8, and you will see a live concert from Metallica from 2017. How freaking cool is that? See, that's not like a movie you've seen because you haven't. Unless you were in Paris that day, those are the only people that witnessed that show. Now you get to watch it. So if you're a Metallica fan, boom. That's awesome. And last night, did you watch the Elton John special, the iHeart Living Room concert? I got to tell you something.
I was catching up with news and doing a little channel surfing and whatnot.
I got you.
Situation. ESPN was showing an old WWE, whatever, and they were in Dallas, I guess, and set the new record and had The Rock there and 101,000 people. And I'm like sitting there going, 101,000 people at one wrestling event. What yeah, okay. Okay.
Does nothing for me. Wrestling does nothing for me, man. It's amazing. So yesterday they had the Elton John special, the iHeart Living Room concert. Dave Grohl was awesome. He did My Hero. He dedicated it to the first responders, the doctors, the nurses out there, obviously fighting the coronavirus in the front lines. They are our heroes, man. And so he did a great job with My Hero. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day did Boulevard of Broken Dreams, which is a great song. He sounded phenomenal. I got to tell you, Billie Eilish doing the acoustic version of Bad Guy, that was really, really good. I really enjoyed that from Billie Eilish. And she was just like totally kicked back and chilled and singing with that voice of hers. And that was really, really good. I really enjoyed Billie Eilish. That was good, man. Alicia Keys did Underdog. Mariah Carey did Always Be My Baby. Had other singers, had a pianist, all that stuff going on. And they weren't together. They were all in their own separate spots, and they mixed it all. So whoever was mixing it did a nice job of mixing everything together. And Mariah sounded good, too. Looked good, too, also.
Oh, so it was better than the New Year's Eve?
Yeah. Because she could not, you could not mess around with this because it was all a cappella pretty much. So if your voice wasn't rocking, you were going to get exposed badly. Alicia Keys sounded great, looked great, as always. I thought it was really, really cool. I don't know how many of you saw it yesterday. The videos are all out there on social media. So you'll be able to find them. People have them part of their articles. But I thought that was really cool that Elton John was able to pull that off yesterday and getting these artists to do it. And that's been, at least for me as a music fan, that's been really cool the last week and a half, being able to see all these different videos and all these different artists doing their thing. I thought it was really, really cool, man. I really enjoyed it. Let's see, what do we have here? Big O would draft a guard over Herbert. Yeah, I would. Yes, I would draft a lineman over Herbert. Yes, I'm not a Herbert guy. Sorry, just not a Herbert guy. What can I tell you? You know. Do want to remind you, of course, that the show is proudly brought to you by Toyota of Hollywood, and they've got it going on, man. I'm telling you, at Toyota of Hollywood, right now, #1 volume sales dealership going on, and you've got a lot of time on your hands. And maybe you've been thinking about getting rid of that car. Now's the time. They've got some great deals going on. 90 days, no payments. So that's a really nice way to get on down there to 1841 North State Road 7, just a couple blocks south of that giant, beautiful guitar off the turnpike. Go see Steve Ostroff and all the great people out there, Herbie, Eddie, just awesome people, Gary Thompson, Rick, some amazing people, and they will take care of you at 1841 North State Road 7. Over 400,000 square foot state-of-the-art facility, over 1,500 cars and trucks, and, of course, a service center that is just absolutely awesome, taken from somebody that drives a Toyota every day. Get your butts on down there. Get rid of that money pit. Go to Toyota of Hollywood.
America's safest and best-selling compact luxury SUV is at Acura of Pembroke Pines, and this is how we do it. RDX, $339 a month at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax, tech title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit offers and 11/10/19. Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used. 50% less. A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the
We are back. Welcome back. We take you, I don't know, man. We got at least another hour here on the program. I got plenty to talk about, at least for another hour. So you'll get at least 3 hours here of us. Hopefully a little more. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, it's 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter. That's at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. And the interesting part about this coronavirus thing, and players, when they normally have time off, they're usually getting in trouble. And maybe it'll happen. I hope not, but I think most of them are home right now.
They're not going to be like Jones.
Well, that's my point. I was going to get to that. That outside of John Bones Jones, who is obviously one of the biggest morons on the freaking planet, I mean, that total scumbag, obviously he's too stupid and ignorant to stay home and not leave home without a gun. Also, no, he had to leave home with an open bottle and a gun. I mean, this is as catastrophically a stupid human being as it gets in John Bones Jones. But normally, time off is not a good thing for athletes. And yet, so far, athletes are not getting in trouble. And especially football players. Those are the worst when it comes to time off. Remember, football is structured where you have training camp, you have the preseason, you have the regular season, you have the postseason, then you have free agency, then you have the draft, and then you have mini camps. They barely have any time off. It's like the month of late June into mid to late July when training camps report again is like the time that they have off that month, and they crap in their pants with that month off that they get in trouble. Think about it now. They're going to have more than a month. The good thing is they can't be at the clubs. They can't be at the strip clubs. They can't be at any of these places that they normally get in trouble, right? Now, the other half is domestic issues. They are now stuck domestically with their wives, girlfriends, whatever.
Send her to her mom's.
We're gonna find out.
Send her to her mom's.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out. There's a lot of couples out there that maybe they don't get along great, and life allows them to get by because they're not with each other all day. Now, I mean, you really got to love your partner now. If in order for you to be around your partner all day, all night, there's got to be real love. Okay? I knew this would be cake for me and my wife because we've worked together. We've lived and worked together at the same time. We've done all that. So it's like, my wife and we're like best friends also. So it's not a big deal. To us, it's great, actually. It sucks that we're, falling behind on bills and stuff, but okay, the money stuff, well, whatever. We'll find a way to overcome eventually. What we can't overcome is any of us getting sick and seriously suffering something from it. You know what I mean? That's the thing we can't recover from. That's the attitude we have to have here in this process. But normally, time is a bad thing for athletes. It's something that GMs fear, coaches fear, agents fear, all of that. And it's been pretty quiet. So far, it's been pretty quiet. We have not heard of a lot of things from, the normal athletes outside of the moron that is John Jones. That's it. And think about this. Dude, what a wuss John Jones is. Here's the toughest dude on the planet that walks into an octagon, okay? Because, brother, you got to be a tough dude. One tough hombre to walk into that octagon and fight your ass off, right? All those octagon guys and women, they are tough people. But, dude, what a wimpy little bitch he is. Okay, so you'll walk into a ring to fight with somebody, but you can't hang out in your house for a couple of days, a couple of weeks. You got to go stir crazy, and you got to go get a gun and alcohol and go drive around the streets and fire off your gun because you can't handle that. How does that make any sense? Seriously. What's so torturous about hanging around your house? Relax, bro. Take it easy. Watch some television. Sleep. Train. Call your agent. Call your friends. Play video games. There's things to do. I'm not sure firing a gun and getting drunk is what you really want to do. Now, you do that because you're an idiot. The rest of us are like, I'm all right, I'm home. The man has the balls to walk into an octagon and fight anybody in the world and kick their ass, by the way, because that's what John Jones does. But he can't handle being a couple days in his house. Oh, I was going stir crazy. Everybody's doing it, dude. We're all at home. Adjust. Be a man. Be responsible. Two things you don't know how to do. You have yet to know how to be a man or be responsible. But I do find it interesting that time off is a bad thing normally with athletes. And so far, it has been as quiet even quieter than it normally is for football off seasons. Again, we're early in the process. Okay? Things will change. There's no doubt in my mind. All right, 786-322-1105. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. Now, the time off, by the way, helps the X-Men. That's a positive for the Dolphins. X-Men did have domestic issues, so now he's with his girl, trapped up. Hopefully nothing happens there. That's the negative part. But for Xavier Howard, remember, he's coming off that knee injury, which, what was it, like a month ago we saw that video? It didn't look like he was completely recovered yet. So this is a good thing for X that he has all this time off, and it allows his knee to completely heal and get him ready for the regular season, which he should be ready for the regular season whenever the regular season starts. But I will say that that's a positive, at least, that while we worry about time off for players in general, if I want to spin it here locally and talk about X, that's actually a good thing. I'm glad for him that he gets the rest, because it's really important that we get a healthy Xavier Howard. For him and for the team, and obviously because you've got Byron Jones opposite of that. And this is going to be a lot of fun to watch, Miami's secondary week in and week out with those guys. So the time off, at least for the X-Man, has got to be a little bit of a positive, as long as he stays away from his domestic issues that he's had in the past. All right, 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, that's 786-322-1105. If you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line, you can also reach out to us on Twitter at Big O Show. Follow us there as always. Did you get that sound I sent you? The music I sent you from the Circle? Did you see that?
What, the download?
Yeah, the email.
Yeah, I got the email.
You got it there? Can you get it loaded up and ready here? Because I thought this was a really cool thing that Sammy Hagar and company did, and it was Jason Bonham that started it all off. So we've got this coronavirus thing going on. We're all locked in our homes and our businesses, inside our condos, whatever it is, wherever you're at, right? You're limited. So Sammy Hagar and the Circle, they got a lot of time on their hands right now, right? So they got a new video called Funky Fu Shu, or Feng Shu, Funky Feng Shu. And they recorded it remotely, and it was part of the lockdown challenge. So it was filmed on their phones. This is cool. Jason Bonham started with the drums in the first Instagram post. He then challenges the guitarist Vic Johnson to add the guitar to it. Vic then adds the guitar to the drums. He then passes it on to Michael Anthony. And Michael Anthony, of course, former bassist of Van Halen and Chickenfoot. He adds the bass to it, okay? Then they pass it on to Sammy, who adds the vocals. So Funky Feng Shu started as a backstage jam that the band now has been playing for a while as warm-up shows. So the Circle says they're going to be doing a lot more of this because it was a lot of fun. And they recently canceled a whole bunch of their shows. If you have never seen the Circle live, you should go, because they are, I mean, it's an all-star band, basically, is what you're getting. All right, let's hear the finished product of Funky Feng Shu from Sammy Hagar and the Circle.
Okay, here's an attempt at a brand new one here. Fellas.
feng shui.
That's good, huh? That sounds good, doesn't it? I mean, considering you just made it up, I mean, it's a gift, obviously, for them. But that's a fun tune. See, these are the things that are going to help us get by. All these silly little things. Now, that's if you're a music person like I am, you'll enjoy stuff like that. And watching the iHeart series that they did yesterday with Elton John, and hell, over the weekend. I don't know if you follow. You probably don't, but Paul Stanley was on Instagram. He's on Instagram, and he's actually a really cool follow on Instagram. And he put up like I want to say it was like a 5-minute video this weekend, how he tells the story of Love Gun, how he wrote it and stuff like that. And it was really, really cool because it was he got it off of another song that somebody else was performing that mentioned the words Love Gun in it, and then that set him off to write about his own love gun. And it's pretty cool how he was talking about how there's a part of his song that sounds a lot like a song from, I want to say it was Albert King, and then another song that has also similarities to that, and it's like, riffs that all sound kind of alike. And it's really cool how he's brutally honest, how some of his riffs sound like this song or that song. Because, it's kind of what the music has always been about, that you kind of use an influence and you kind of steal a little bit of it, but you change it for your own. You know what I mean? So it sounds a little different. But musicians, man, they hear it right from the beginning. And they hear the raw influence, and they know exactly what other song it comes from, And if you can, go to Paul Stanley's Instagram, and you can check it out. And it's a cool little video that he put up talking about, Love Gun and the history of Love Gun. I thought that was actually really, really cool. Again, these are some of the little things that we have during this lockdown that we can, and that's why I kind of pass it on to you guys, because maybe you didn't know about Paul Stanley. Maybe you didn't know about the Sammy Hagar stuff. Maybe you didn't know about, the Elton John special. All these kind of things that are going on. Little entertainment for you. You know what I mean? Metallica tonight at 8 o'clock. I think we're doing our jobs to kind of help you, have a little facilitation of fun. I want you guys to have some fun out there and enjoy yourselves. Why not? It's a beautiful thing when you're able to do that.
The only problem is it's easier if you're a homebody. If you're used to being out and about and running around, I don't care what you're doing at home. You're at home.
Yeah, no, I get it. But, I mean, make the best of it, man.
I was just going to say.
Make the best of it, bro.
Yeah, bad situation, make the best of what you can do.
I'm the guy that tries to make a best of any situation I'm in, bro. Doesn't matter. It is what I'm not the guy that stays down. You know what I mean? If something happens, hell, I've lost my job, and I don't stay down. I just, okay, well then let's move on to the next challenge. That's the way I am. I'm not going to sulk, and I'm not going to just whine about something all the freaking time. I got to move on, man. I got to move on. I can't stay on the negativity. You know what I mean? It's just that's no fun. That's not productive to stay on the negativity. I saw this story, and I found it kind of, in a way, I found it kind of strange, but OBJ possibly getting traded. And I, again, talk about hypotheticals. This is kind of a hypothetical, but I read this story where Odell could be traded to Minnesota. And there's a lot of stuff that makes sense to that, because they've already made moves for the Florida kid, what was his name, Percy Harvin. And they brought him on at times. And so they will take chances on characters. And obviously Odell Beckham is a character. But they traded Stephon Diggs. So they kind of need a playmaker opposite of Thielen. And a lot of people think that the first rounder they acquired from Buffalo will be the first rounder that they trade to Cleveland, along with Anthony Harris, the safety, in order to acquire Odell Beckham. By the way, it's a $14 million cap hit for Cleveland if they trade Odell Beckham. And I find it weird as hell that Odell Beckham is not that I'm shocked, but it's still weird that you're a year removed from signing that big-ass contract that they traded for you, and a year later, now remember, there's a new GM there. The GM that traded for you is gone. So this guy doesn't have to believe in you, and this guy can let you go and get an asset in return. And if you don't feel that OBJ and Baker Mayfield are going to work out, which I got to tell you something, I think Baker's way more the problem than OBJ. OBJ's an idiot and he's a punk and all that stuff. And I get that he's a problem as it is. No matter how talented he is a problem. But I just don't think Baker's going to be a good quarterback anyway. I didn't buy him when they drafted him. I said it, that I thought he was a project. And again, I worried about a one-year wonder. Those are things that you have to be concerned about. And so I don't really believe in the guy. So to me, it doesn't matter who you have at wide receiver. I don't think Baker at this level turns into the guy that they thought he was going to be. Now, they've gotten rid of the GMs, the assistant GMs, the personnel director. I mean, they have cleaned house at the top. So the new GM might be willing to part ways with Beckham. You got to pay him a lot of money. If it's not working out, you might as well. And if you're Minnesota, Lord knows you need as many playmakers as possible because you don't have a great quarterback. You don't have a guy that can carry you. So you need a guy that's going to make plays for your quarterback and elevate your quarterback. Because Kirk Cousins is not the guy that elevates a team. He is a facilitator on his best day. That's who he is. He's not the ultimate difference maker franchise guy.
So why did Minnesota extend his contract?
Well, I can't answer that. I have no idea. Maybe they felt that they couldn't get anything better, so make the team around him even better, so that way he looks better. Like Ryan Tannehill. That, you run the hell out of the ball, you got a great offensive line and a defense, your quarterback doesn't have to do a lot. And I think that's what Minnesota's trying to get to, that they don't want to have to force Kirk Cousins to be the guy to carry you. But it's an indictment on OBJ because this would be your third team in 3 years. And it starts to kind of show that, you are part of the problem wherever you've been. And he is part of the problem, okay? He's a punk. There's no doubt in my mind.
I was going to use one of your lines. Why would you want that ass clown?
Yeah, no. But again, because you're Minnesota, your window's going to close soon. And if you can't get over the top now, you won't be able to in a couple years because you won't be able to pay everybody and everybody will be gone.
Haven't they lost a bunch of guys on defense?
They're already losing some guys,
and their defense was their strength.
It's still pretty good. And I think that's why the OBJ thing kind of makes sense if they think they've got to make their offense even more high-powered. That's if they can with OBJ. We'll see. But I saw that story, and I just kind of tripped out on it because OBJ, I mean, give me a break, dude. You're going to give up your first rounder. You're going to pay all that money to the guy. At least you don't have to pay the signing bonus. So
and
you
also
win
the
in that
marinas
area.
are closed, so you know he's not going to be out on a boat when he shouldn't be.
Yeah. Yeah. The coronavirus is going to create a lot of problems down the line. And one of the things that I see, and look, I know it's great that they got the stimulus bill passed, the $2 trillion, and I get it that a lot of people are going to receive money in the mail, and not in the mail, in their direct bank account, as long as you paid taxes. If you didn't pay taxes, then, hey, too bad, so sad. It is what it is. Maybe you should pay your taxes. and then maybe, you can benefit like the rest of the Americans that are working hard and paying their taxes. But anyway, that's a whole different other conversation. Having said all of that, I still believe in a couple of weeks we're going to go through a really rough time in our country where I think you will see looting. I do believe you will see people stealing because desperation is going to set in for a lot of people. Okay? There's a lot of people that are being helped by the government. A lot of people in the restaurant industry are not, actually. It's really odd, man, the way things are working out. Some people are going to get helped by this, and some people aren't. And one of the things that I told my wife is, you get $1,000, $1,500. That's really nice. But let's be honest now. If you got car and house payments and rent or mortgage or insurance and kids and all, $1,000, $1,500 is nothing, dude. It's going to go by like nothing. And we're not getting it for like 3 weeks. So there are a lot of people that are already going through some really brutal moments. Do you know how badly off they're going to be 2 weeks from now and 3 weeks from now? I'm sure that we're going to have the National Guard eventually called in. I'm sure we're going to have some kind of martial law towards the end of this month because crime is going to go up. People are going to be breaking into businesses. They're going to be breaking into other homes. All of these things, it's going to happen. And in the Netherlands, they've already had something happen. A painting by Dutch master Vincent van Gogh was stolen in an overnight smash and grab raid on a museum that was closed to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. The Singer Laren Museum east of Amsterdam said that the parsonage garden at Noonan in Springs 1884 by the Dutch master was taken in the early hours of Monday. By early afternoon, all that could be seen from outside the museum was a large white panel covering a door in the building's glass facade. Museum General Director Van Oos said that the institution that houses the collection of American coupled William and Anna Singer is angry, shocked, sad at the theft. The value of the work, which is on loan from the Groninger Museum in northern Dutch city of Groningen, was not immediately known. Van Gogh's paintings, when rarely come up for sale, fetch millions at auction. Police, of course, are investigating the theft. I am shocked and unbelievably annoyed that this happened, said Singer Laren Museum Director Jan Rudolph. This beautiful and moving painting by one of our greatest artists stolen, removed from the community. He added, it's very bad for Groninger Museum. It's very bad for Singer, but it's terrible for us all because art exists to be seen and shared by us, the community, to enjoy, draw inspiration from, and to draw comfort from, especially in these difficult times. The 22 by 57 centimeter oil on paper painting shows a person standing in a garden surrounded by trees with the church tower in the background. Now, the only thing is when you steal these things, you can't really show them off because then somebody's going to tell on you eventually. So it's like you got to have it in some safe somewhere hidden from everybody. That's like no fun. Or what do? You just put it in your living room that nobody will ever go in?
Unless they have hookups on the black market, and supposedly in that exclusive area, there is a black market.
That's fine. But then whoever you sell it to, they can't show it off either. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's the way these people are. They don't care about that. It's about it's mine.
I know it's
They're
yours,
greedy.
but you want to share it, that's saying that they said they're about art, that it is about sharing. Even if you have it at your home, you want to share it with people.
Yeah, but that's the way these people are not that way. These people are not that way.
I don't know how you get.
Did you ever see the movie about J. Paul Getty and his grandson being kidnapped? You never saw that? It's, based on the true story, and and how he was about art and stuff like that. That's those people. There's like a Gordon Gekko. How many yachts, Gordon, do you need to ski behind?
Right.
Come on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm with you. All right, let's take a quick break. We do want to remind you that Craig Zins, Acura Pembroke Pines, the finest dealership in the business, proud sponsors of our show, man. And right now, 2020 models, the ILX is $209, the TLX $249, the RDX $339, the MDX $349, only $29.99 do it signing, plus tax tag and registration. And folks, they've got 90 days, no payments. They've also got an Acura loyalty program going on right now. For those of you that own or lease an Acura and you're looking to buy or lease another one, they will give you $500 off if you already own or lease an Acura loyalty program. It's customer appreciation, folks. That's why 90 days, no payments. So get on down there to 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Finest dealership in the business, baby. It is Craig Zins, Acura of Pembroke Pines.
First of all, I hope this message finds you and your family safe and well.
No one expects to get into a crash, but I expect you to go to accidentlawfirm.com if you do. Make sure when hiring a driver, you go through a rideshare app so that you can be covered by the insurance, which can be up to $1 million whether you're a passenger or a driver. In other words, don't try to save a few bucks by paying cash instead of going through the app. I'm attorney Bobby Nunez from Nunez Law in Miami, and we're here to help you through the process. Go to accidentlawfirm.com for a free consultation from me, Bobby Nunez. That's accidentlawfirm.com.
Are you tired of watching the same old travel videos on the internet? Well, then check out MikeNoGoZones.com, a travel documentary that's breaking barriers. I go to the places that the media tells you to fear, where no one else dares to go. Baltimore, Opelika, South Side of Chicago, and more. Go to MikeNoGoZones.com.
Plus tax tag title. It includes $8.99 dealer fee on approved credit. Offers end 11/10/19.
Over 1,500 Toyotas are on the ground, and truckloads of new 2020 Toyotas just keep on coming. To eliminate all 2019 models, Toyota of Hollywood is holding the ultimate 2019 model year changeover event. Make us an offer, any offer, and you can buy a Toyota at up to 50% less than their original MSRP when new and used.
50% less.
A pre-owned 2019 RAV4, not $30,000, $19,775. A pre-owned 2019 Camry LE, not $26,000, $17,775. A pre-owned 2019 Corolla LE, not $22,000, $12,775. Pay up to 50% less at Toyota of Hollywood, the #1 volume Toyota dealer, based on total retail sales of new Toyotas in the Southeast region for 2014 to 2018 per SET, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
We are back. Thank you all, as always, for tuning in and supporting us here on the program. We always appreciate it. Adrian Gonzalez says, Mariah Carey and Stephanie Mills, two angelic voices that help through this. Any female voices you like. Well, Mariah Carey's got a great voice. Stephanie Mills, come on, that's phenomenal. Anita Baker, I love. Ann Wilson, Pat Benatar,
Sade.
Oh wow, Sade. There's tons of female voices that I absolutely love. Troy George says OBJ is overrated. He doesn't make the players around him better. Yeah, he's kind of a punk. There's no doubt. The FIFA expert says Hayden stinks. Mike Dominguez says, I wouldn't mind being quarantined on that Vikings party boat right about now. Okay. Well, as long as nobody else has it. Bromar says, quarantine me on a cruise ship cruising around the world with only females on it. There you go. I like it. As long, again, all females, nobody with corona. Then I get it. And I totally understand. What was I going to tell you guys? Oh, interesting story I saw, and we played a little bit of it on Friday, and it was Bruce Arians on with Tiki Barber and Brandon Tierney, right? And Bruce was asked several questions about Jameis Winston. And first of all, Bruce addressed the reason why he had to make the change with Jameis Winston.
Really, it was, as we do every year, we reevaluate our team, what's best for our organization. Fixing Jameis was one of them, unless something behind door number 2 we thought was better, and we would have to move on. Obviously, Tom, we thought we'd have to move on. For Jameis, for me, it was the last 2 balls regression back to the interceptions, and he hadn't done that up till he had a nice run going. We had a great shot to get to 9-7, my outside shot at the playoffs, whatever. Mm-hmm. And then, we lose a couple of games on pick sixes, and it was disheartening because he had made progress, then he regressed.
Right there, the coach is telling you Jameis is not a winner. We had a chance to go to 9-7. Whether you got in the playoffs or not, to him, it was going to be progress because you were making some progress. You were starting to stay away from the turnovers again, but then they reared its ugly head again in the final 2 games. You lost. You ended up 7-9, and you end up out of the playoffs, and then you end up moving on from Jameis Winston. And I understand his point when he's talking about, I have to be able to count on a player. I have to be able to reach a player. I have to be able to trust a player. He can't do any of that. He can't count on him to be consistent. He can't trust him to take care of the football. And he can't even trust him to win games. So basically, Bruce was losing confidence in Jameis Winston. And there's no way that you can move forward with a guy you can't trust. You're not going to marry a woman you can't trust. Ladies, you're not going to marry a man you can't trust, right? You're not going to work with somebody you can't trust. You know what I mean? And so you're going to get out of there, right? I know I left somewhere I didn't trust. Why? Because I knew right away I couldn't trust a person. I had to get the hell out. And it's just you can't be in those kind of relationships with people you can't trust. Jameis is supposedly a good dude, supposedly works really hard. Supposedly he is really trying. But unfortunately, the mistakes keep rearing its ugly head. Bruce now was asked, where is Jameis going to go?
I think for him, it's to get into somewhere as a backup right now. It looks like all the starting jobs are done.
Yeah.
Get in somewhere where he can sit, learn a system, maybe a year for an older person and take over, or get in competition with a younger guy. And because he is a super talented and a super hard-working guy.
Again, they say all the right things, but he's letting him go for a reason. As talented as he is, I still say Miami should sign him for the hell of it. I would if I'm Miami. I would bring him in. Not hand him the job, make him earn the job that he's like playing well in practice, not throwing interceptions, making good decisions, doing the right things in meetings and all that, and then eventually you give him a shot. And if he handles it the right way, he stays. And if he doesn't, you cut his ass right away and get rid of him. Move on. You don't have to give him any money or anything. But he's right. Jameis now has to take a step back. He is no longer at a point where you got to hand him a job because he's not good enough for that anymore. He has to prove to whoever hires him that he can be trusted, that he is there to take care of the football, that he can win games for you, that he can be that leader that people believe in. Because ultimately, that's what Bruce talked about, that they needed a winner and somebody that would lead and people would believe in. Jameis can't do either one of those. He doesn't win. He's not a guy people believe in, so he can't lead. He just can't. Unfortunately. So now Bruce was asked about, can Jameis turn it around? Because a lot of you out there, when I talked about this last week, that the Dolphins should take a chance on Jameis, a whole bunch of you were like, no way. No Jameis. Do you know why? You've given up on him. And guess what? That's understandable. It's super understandable if you don't believe in Jameis. It's extremely understandable if you think he'll never change his turnover ways. You know why? You're probably right. And by the way, by me saying take a chance on him, there's nothing wrong with that, because I'm not saying take a chance on him and hand him the starting job. I haven't said that. I say you bring him in and you say, Jameis, Fitz is a starter. We're drafting a young guy and we have Josh Rosen here. You got to fight with everybody else behind Fitz to be the starter. So you got to prove, just like everybody else. And if he doesn't, you let him go. No gamble, no nothing. You're not going to pay him a lot of money. You're not paying him a signing bonus. Nothing. It's a prove-it contract is what he gets. That's all anybody should offer him at this point. So Bruce Arians was asked, can Jameis Winston turn it around?
Are you confident he can figure out that regression? Are you confident he can turn it? Because he's still young. I mean, he's only 26 years old. Are you confident he can turn it to the guy?
I hope so for him, because I love the kid.
Think about it. I hope so, because I love the kid. It's not, obviously, that's why he let him go. If Bruce goes, oh, yeah, he'll turn it around, no problem. Then the next question would have been, well, then why did you let him go? He can't say that. But he can say, hey, I'm hopeful. Okay?
I hope so for him, because I love the kid.
I hope so for him, because I love the kid. Because, okay, he's been likable, but he's not trustworthy. He's been likable, but he's not a winner. He's been likable, but he's not a leader. And let me tell you something, and I'm not breaking any news here. All of you know this. Your team's a whole lot different when they believe in the quarterback. Your fan base is a whole lot different when they believe in the quarterback. You know how it is. Those of you that are old enough, because see, unfortunately, you young Dolphin fans, you've never had this feeling that we used to have as Dolphin fans. We used to walk into that Orange Bowl with our chest pumped out. Like we knew we were going to win that day. Like there was a 1% chance that you were walking out of the Orange Bowl with a loss. You knew your coach was better. You knew your team was better prepared. You knew your team was a smarter team on the field 99% of the time. And so that's why you expected to win. And usually you were led by a Bob Greasy or a Dan Marino. Again, confidence. Now, you knew both guys could win, both guys would take care of the football, both guys could lead you, all that stuff. Jameis doesn't give you any of that. And that's where you see Bruce say that. And that's why nobody has signed Jameis. He doesn't have the problems that Cam Newton has. It's not a health issue. It's not, are you healthy? It's, I don't trust your ass. And I don't have a starting job for you. So now you got to come in as a backup. So now he has been humbled. It's not like you don't know he can't throw. Oh, you know he can throw. You know he can move around. There's nothing physically that's stopping him whatsoever. This is all. Nobody has confidence in you. That's why nobody has signed you. A desperate league for quarterbacks, and nobody's signing Jameis Winston. And there aren't 9 other guys more talented than him. It's pretty amazing. But it's also, these were damning statements by Bruce Arians. And by a quarterback guru letting you go and saying, I've had enough. Do you know how that sends ripples all along the NFL? There are guys out there that are like, well, I'm not better than Bruce Arians at quarterback. If that guy can't figure out Jameis and can't get him to stop turning over the football, there's no way I'm going to do it. That's the lack of confidence that there is in Jameis Winston right now. That's pretty bad, man. Jameis will get one more chance here. And after that, he'll be a perennial backup for the rest of his life. So wherever he goes next, he has to knock it out of the park. And he has to figure out a way of eliminating those turnovers. And if he doesn't, then he's not going anywhere. All right, 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. That's 786-322-1105 if you want to get in on the accidentlawfirm.com text line. The other story that I saw was JJ. I thought he handled it perfectly. Jimmie Johnson, for those of you that don't know, he is going to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Well-deserved honor, no doubt, no-brainer. Of course he's a Hall of Famer, okay? That's not even what this discussion is all about. But we've kind of talked about this in the past. You know, Jimmie's not in the Ring of Honor for the Cowboys, something that he should have been put in decades ago, okay? Not years ago, decades ago, they should have put him in, all right? So here's how the story reads. Johnson won 2 Super Bowl titles with the Cowboys, and, you know, he doesn't have a good relationship with Jerry. Johnson will be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this year, but Ring of Honor recognition does not seem to be coming. On Sunday, a fan asked him how he would feel if Jones inducted the former coach into the Ring of Honor, and Johnson's answer spoke volumes. Dr. Dave Unry said, Jimmie, how would you feel if Jerry inducted you into our Ring of Honor? Long, and then he put in parentheses, long overdue, comma, obligatory, or bury the hatchet this year, question mark. Jimmie Johnson answered back, said, at Troy Aikman will present me, and Terry Bradshaw will put the jacket on me. That's basically Jimmie saying, F the Ring of Honor, F Jerry Jones. What's more important is I'm going into the Hall of Fame. And Troy Aikman, my quarterback from those championships, is going to present me. And one of my best friends in Terry Bradshaw, who's a 4-time Super Bowl champion and a member of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, is going to put the jacket on me. I'm not going to have Jerry Jones involved in my ceremony, so I don't care if he includes me in his. The honor that matters the most is the Hall of Fame, not the Cowboy Ring of Honor. I already have the honor of knowing that I produced those 3 championships that Jerry Jones has. The 2 I won and the one Barry Switzer impersonated me on. And Jerry didn't earn those titles. Barry Switzer didn't earn those titles. I, my staff, and the players we chose earned those titles. And as you see, Jerry Jones and the rest of his people can't win squat without me. That's exactly what that said right there. And you know what? Kudos to Jimmie Johnson. He's right. Jerry Jones has and always will be in the wrong when it comes to what happened with Jimmie Johnson. You should have shut the hell up. You should have stayed behind the scenes. You should have let the real coach, the real football guy, continue to run things as long as he wanted to instead of chasing his ass out. You might have won more than 3. And since then, you can't even win a playoff game. Okay? And let me tell you, that window is going to close on the Cowboys in the next year or two if they don't win with the current group that they have now. Because you know how it is. Once you got to pay the quarterback, woo, doggy. The trickle-down effect is brutal. Just saying. So kudos to Jimmie Johnson. You, sir, did the right thing.
Couldn't happen to a better NFL franchise.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of easy to root against Jerry Jones when he does these kind of things to a guy that put his franchise on the map with his championships. I get it. The Cowboys had a great history before that. But since then, the only great history they have is the Jimmie Johnson era. Since then, it's been the most overhyped, maybe the most overhyped team in all of pro sports, right? The last 20 years?
Easily.
I mean, who else?
What is it? They've won 3 playoff games, I think.
I mean, we overhyped Cleveland at times. The Browns I'm talking about. Seriously.
That's only because of all the picks that they've had.
No. Last 10 years, there have been times we have talked about the Browns like they were the second coming, and we have overhyped the Browns like to hell, along with the Cowboys. Is there a baseball? Oh, the Nationals until last year were the most overhyped team until they finally won it last year. Any other baseball team we overhype? I think just once you say the Nationals, the Dodgers are chokers.
The Dodgers are
No, but they're chokers. They're not overhyped because they do actually they get to the World Series. They get to the playoffs.
The reason all these teams
the Nationals
have
up until last year were chokers.
But all these teams we're talking about, the hype they get is because they have talent. They just never do anything with it.
That was the Nationals. The Dodgers do something. They don't win the whole thing, but they do something with it. So they're not completely overhyped. They choke. Choke is different. I'm talking about like the Cowboys are overhyped constantly. The Browns are overhyped constantly. The Nationals up until last year may have been more overhyped than the Cowboys.
Well,
because they had more talent really to win a World Series than the Cowboys did for a Super Bowl.
The biggest thing for me, self-proclaimed America's team.
Right.
Who the hell are you to proclaim yourself America's team?
Right.
Yeah, somebody needs to go over there and smack you.
Basketball, do we have an overhyped team? Overhyped? That we keep talking, but
the
they
Lakers
never.
Right now.
Yeah, but they're still a really good team. They're going to go somewhere with that team.
We've been hyping them since LeBron got there.
No, I got it. But last year they had the injuries and all that, and they weren't really a good team last year. So I can't hold that against them. I can't hold it against them when it's not realistic. Right now it's realistic. Now, I'm not going with that. I'm not going with that.
How about Houston? Houston's had a lot of talent.
That's not bad. That's pretty good. But what I'm saying is Cowboys have been the most overhyped. And Jimmie deserves all the love in the world for what he did with the Cowboys. It was actually just one of the greatest GM turnarounds in NFL history. How that guy came in and turned that thing around and made it one of the greatest dynasties of all time. That guy deserves 2 spots in the Ring of Honor for the Cowboys. Not 1, 2. But I'm glad because he gets the last laugh. He's in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And for Jerry Jones to not put somebody in their ring of honor that contributed that much and was the most impactful person in the history of Cowboy football since Tom Landry. Are you listening to me? The most impactful person in the history of the franchise outside of Tom Landry, and you're not putting him in the ring of honor? That's a disgrace on your part, Jerry Jones. Come on, man. You just don't do those kind of things. You suck it up, you become the better person, and you do what's great for the franchise and its fans. Because the fans have to ultimately really appreciate Jimmy Johnson for what he did. Because, hell, they haven't had that kind of success since. Last time I checked. Right?
What makes you think that Jerry Jones is going to be a decent, normal, person? The guy is what he is.
Yep. It's crazy. Oh, by the way, one more thing before we wrap it up. Did you see what led SportsCenter last night? Do you know what the lead story was?
You know
Did you
what?
Watch?
Well, here, I was watching the wrestling thing, and I went back to that, and I knew to go back at 11 o'clock, because this is a replay. And I do know what it was. God, man, what was it? Oh, and I was watching.
It was the NASCAR.
Oh, Dale Jr.
Well, Dale,
they actually did a segment with him. And stuff.
Yeah, he did a long-ass interview with him, bro.
He came in. Well, he does a lot of these. He's done 91, 111 of them, and he's got 44 top fives.
I know, but
how about that? I remember that.
Yeah, but I've never seen a SportsCenter. Again, there's nothing going on. So they had
every one of them, though. Every one of these e-races, and the first one was ours, Homestead. They have been touting it pretty big because there's nothing else.
Yeah, no. But I got to tell you something. One of the things that stood out to me about that, one, it's funny that an e-sport is actually leading ESPN. But the second part of it, I thought it's genius by NASCAR to do this. Because remember, NASCAR is hurting with its fans. So esports are huge with who? Young people. Okay? I mean, there's a joke floating in my head that I cannot say. I'll tell you after. Because I would.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I can't.
No, okay.
I can't really say it. I can't really say
Everybody, I tried.
I can't really say it, but because people would take it in bad taste, and there is a little bit of it that would be in bad taste, just a little bit, but it's brutally honest. But anyway, so you look at it, it's genius on their part. Why? Because they're losing fans, they're losing interest from people. By the way, who leads the way for esports? Young people. So now young people, they don't have anything going on. Yeah, they have their own video games and all that. But they get a taste of this, and then the real race car drivers are part of it, and they're all in these simulated race cars all around the country in their homes racing. This is super cool. So this is a way of NASCAR to connect with young fans. Also, the old fans get a taste of esports, so you're educating them too in the process. I thought it was really, really cool that they were doing that. Because at first I looked at it and I said, I'm not really into it. It's not my thing. But I know esports are big, okay? I know it. I respect it. Trust me, okay? I know that it's a big thing. And for NASCAR, they're one of the few sports that can actually do something like this and make the transition and make it really, really cool. And like every weekend, they can be at a different track. And it's awesome because apparently it's real. It's like the tracks they're on, everything that they're racing, it's exactly to a T like the tracks that they're normally at. So that's also real cool for the race car drivers. The only thing that I would add to it is they should have a pro-am race. Okay, you have the regular race.
What do you mean, like back in the day that you have the IROC series that all the different, like IndyCar, the NASCARs, and all of them race?
No. What I'm talking about is, you know how you go to golf tournaments, right? And then you have the Pro-Am day on a Wednesday that you get to play with the celebrities and the golfers.
Okay. Yes.
And then the people that pay money, they're with a celebrity or a golfer that's in your foursome. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Okay, so now this is what you do if you're NASCAR. You have a lottery out there for NASCAR fans. And a certain group of them will be able to join you and the race. So they get to race with the pros the day before. So you have like a Pro-Am race where half the race are fans that earn the right to be in there, and you give them like a special password or whatever. They got to have the equipment, obviously, the racing equipment or, whatever it takes to PlayStation or whatever, which I'm sure they'll have it. And then they get to join the guys on the race. I think that would be cool. And every week you have a lottery for people to join, and then they're racing against Jimmie Johnson, and they're racing against Dale Earnhardt Jr. You know what I mean? I think that would be really, really cool. And again, this is a great way of fans to kind of, mingle with the race car drivers. And it's 2 nights that you would do it, right? You have the weekend day that you do the race that everybody tunes in for, and then on a Friday you have that Pro-Am race with everybody else involved. I think that would be pretty cool. But it's
usually
it's genius, man. It
usually
really is.
NASCAR Friday night is the Truck Series race.
Right.
Saturday is what used to be. It's the Nationwide, I think.
Right.
It used to be
Busch.
the Busch Series. The Busch Series. I was actually at it. Down in Homestead. It was the last Busch Series race.
What was it again?
I was the Busch Series race. I was there. And Sunday, of course, is the big day.
Right. Yeah.
But
I like it. I think it's genius.
Used to be
on their
Winston
part.
Cup, but Winston. Cigarettes.
It's a great way to piggyback on your sport. I don't know how many fans you're really going to pick up from it, but I think it's really cool that you might be able to pick up some fans. It might translate over. Okay.
My current go-tos when I go to Dave & Buster's and stuff like that is the Daytona race with all 8 cars hooked up.
Mm-hmm.
That is the best. That is the best. Those race car games are the best.
Oh, yeah. I love those race car games, dude. Yeah. And let me tell you something. I had never seen that on SportsCenter yesterday. They do the Earnhardt interview, and then they go to a Triple H interview. And that might have, in the first half hour, they might have taken up like 20 minutes of interviews alone. Now, I get it. There's not a lot to talk about. Yet somehow or another, I have talked 3 hours of sports. I'm just saying. I had a little music in there, overall.
Don't forget about Vincent Van Gogh, bro.
Yeah, a little Vincent Van Gogh. I had to snuck in a little Corona talk. But think about this. Very little commercials.
There's a whole bunch of beer pong people that are like, hey, you talked about beer pong.
3 hours of pretty good sports talk overall. So did I have enough? Huh?
No, man, we did a show. It's a real, it's a show.
He's shocked. He wonders how I come up with a sports talk show every single day. You know what I mean? And come up with subjects to talk about and get people to think or laugh or get pissed off or happy or whatever. Got to stir some kind of emotion. But we work hard, man. We work really hard on finding different things to talk about for you guys every day.
By the way, Hank
try to
Hill,
give you a little getaway, get away from all the craziness. That's what we're here for.
I'm getting texts from Hank Hill. He's really pissed off about you talking badly about the Dallas Cowboys.
Ah, yes. Little Hank Hill. I like it. All right. So it looks to me like we're pretty much. I think I left. There's 2 subjects I didn't talk about. Actually, one thing before I do go, thoughts and prayers to the Kovaris family. Riot guitarist and original member Lou L.A. Kovaris passed away at the age of 66 yesterday, and it was coronavirus, by the way, the reason why he passed away. I'm a Riot fan. Those of you that like Riot, Fire Down Under was one hell of a song, Swords and Tequila and stuff. Riot's one of those bands that you've got to be like a hardcore metal fan to even know Riot, okay? Because they weren't a mainstream type rock band. But I saw that he passed away, so I figured we give Lou a little love and the Kovaris family, thoughts and prayers to them. Because as a Riot fan, I definitely am a fan of the music, and I know that the modern version still is touring now, which I think they have no original members left from it, but they're keeping the music alive overall. The lead singer died years ago, but anyway, so just wanted to give our thoughts and prayers to Lou and his family for passing away over the weekend due to coronavirus. All right, it is time to wrap it up. Bill, as always, excellent work by you, my friend. Getting it done. We thank all of you out there.
Incredibly awesome work by you, man, to
we
be
try
able to do over a 3-hour show.
We try.
How the hell you pulled this off? You're amazing, bro.
Yeah, well, we actually went over. It's 2:07, so yeah, 3 hours and 7 minutes today of programming. So we did a lot of programming today, a lot of sports talk. So we'll try to do it again tomorrow, and we'll do it again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Everybody out there, be safe. Much love as always. You be good. Take it easy.
We'll see you tomorrow.
This is the